Chapter 1189. The Black Tortoise Seal was the family treasure of the Yang clan. Like the Dragon Rebel Spear, it was an ancestral divine weapon that only the Yang clan could use. Yang Wu had reached atavistic bloodline and was the best candidate to use the Black Tortoise Seal. He was extremely compatible with the Black Tortoise Seal. When his power merged with the Black Tortoise Seal, the power of the Black Tortoise Seal was unsealed. His battle prowess also skyrocketed. It wasn't easy for the Black Tortoise Seal to suppress Xingmin. After all, Yang Wu was only at the 3rd level of the Starmark realm. However, Yang Wu was the invincible king. His amplification of power had reached 100 times. With his foundation, he could even fight against a peak saint. With the help of the Black Tortoise Seal, he could fight against a half-step Ascension realm expert or even kill one. The Phoenix Feather Fan was a Sciention battle weapon. It had great power and was infinitely close to an Ascension battle weapon. After Yang Wu entered the Saint realm, its power had become extremely shocking. The blazing blue flame formed a huge phoenix and burned toward Xingmin. Blue Demonis was a high-level holy fire, but it was even scarier than ordinary top-level holy fires. The flame swept toward Xingmin. Xingmin felt threatened, so he spat out a stream of black firepower. Pung pung. The two flames clashed. No one could do anything to the other. Yang Wu activated the Black Tortoise Seal again and pushed forward, suppressing Xingmin until he couldn't move. He was even in a sorry state. Once he couldn't hold on, he would definitely be suppressed. How can this brat be so monstrous? Damn it! Xingmin cursed and kept mobilizing the power in his body. The power of the 12 Starmark realm intertwined to form the power of a half-moon. He wanted to forcibly shake off the Black Tortoise Seal. Half-step Ascension realm was the half-step Jade Moon realm. Once the 12 Starmarks formed the half-moon, it was the half-step Jade Moon realm. Once it formed the full moon, it would successfully reach the Ascension realm. Xingmin's power was rising crazily, as expected of a half-step into heavenly ascension. Even the power of the Black Tortoise Seal could not suppress him. The power of the Black Tortoise Seal had only been unsealed. Yang Wu was too weak to unleash its full power. I must suppress you. Yang Wu made up his mind and spat out a mouthful of blood onto the Black Tortoise Seal. After the Black Tortoise Seal came into contact with Yang Wu's blood, it let out a buzzing sound and unsealed 50% of its power in an instant. Its power soared and directly suppressed Xingmin into the ground. How is this possible? Xingmin felt boundless pressure. He was actually unable to withstand the power of the Black Tortoise Seal and was ruthlessly suppressed. Bang! The ground was pressed down by a giant seal, causing cracks to appear on the ground. A part of the ground caved in, and dust billowed into the air. Countless sand and stones were splashed in all directions. Lord Leader! The people of the Xing clan cried out involuntarily. Release Lord Leader. Xing Dao flew over and slashed at Yang Wu with a battle weapon. A huge force drew a beautiful arc in the air and arrived in front of Yang Wu in the blink of an eye. Impudent! Yang Chaowei had been watching the battle the entire time. He roared and flew over from the side, thrusting his battle spear forward to block Xing Dao's attack. Yang Wu, release him quickly, or we'll exterminate your Yang clan. Another Xing clan saint shouted. What big words! Do you believe that I won't kill him right now? Yang Wu replied. I don't believe it. Another old voice rang out. Lord Lu is here. Lord Lu is here. Let's see if the Yang clan still dares to be arrogant. A Xing clan saint exclaimed. The 8 great battle clans had sent representatives to guard this place. Naturally, there were people from the Lu clan present. The old man in front of them was the leader of the Lu clan, Lu Bion. He was also half a step into the heavenly ascension realm. Yang Wu had used the Black Tortoise Seal to suppress a half-step into the heavenly ascension realm expert. Facing another half-step into the heavenly ascension realm expert, it would be difficult for him to endure. Sun Chunxing opened his mouth and said, Nephew Yang Wu, I think you should release Xingmin and let this matter rest. Sun Chunxing appeared to be helping Xingmin, but in reality, he was protecting Yang Wu by not giving Lu Biong a chance to flip out. Yang Wu's battle prowess was too strong. Sun Chunqing had to look at him in a new light. He immediately approved of the alliance between his clan and the Yang clan. With such a young lord, the Yang clan's future was incomparably bright. He wants to kill me. It's impossible for me to let him go just like that. Yang Wu replied, "You're a spy from the demon clan. Lord Liu, please uphold justice for us." Xing Dao shouted, "Young lord, let's retreat first." Yang Chaohui transmitted his voice to Yang Wu. Liu Buyang's battle prowess was very strong, and he was very violent. It would definitely be difficult to offend this old man. Using a divine weapon to suppress Xing Min, you're really good. Unfortunately, you're too arrogant. Today, you'll be suppressed in the world of battle for 100 years. Liu Buyang raised his eyebrows and shouted. He stretched out a golden claw to grab Yang Wu. "Old man, you don't have such qualifications." Yang Wu responded strongly. He was ready to take out the Big Dipper sword and fight with the other party. Before he could do so, another powerful force intervened and blocked the golden claw. "How can you, Liu Buyang, teach the young lord of the Yang clan a lesson?" A faint voice sounded, and then a dark green light flashed and blocked in front of Yang Wu. It was Yang Hanlin. At this moment, Yang Hanlin was obviously more than 10 years younger than before. The momentum on his body had improved a lot, and his temperament had changed a lot. It was as if he had integrated with the heaven and earth. He was no longer afraid of the demon Qi here, and there was a little more awe-inspiring breath on his body. Yang Wu taught Yang Hanlin the art of devil god, which was a top devil art, and had a very significant effect on the cultivation of the devil path. Yang Hanlin had stayed in the world of battle for nearly 10,000 years, absorbing an unknown amount of demon Qi. After cultivating the art of devil god, he transformed the demon Qi, and his strength soared rapidly. Finally, he entered the half-step into the realm of heaven ascension, and he had already seen the road to heaven ascension. As long as he continued to cultivate, it would not be long before he could become a real master of heaven ascension. Even if it was only a half-step breakthrough, for Yang Hanlin, it was a step with a lot of preparation. His state was much better, and his lifespan had increased a lot. He was like a sword that had been sealed for a long time and was unsheathed again. "Yang Hanlin, you dare to stop me? Do you want to die?" Liu Buyang glared at Yang Chaolin and shouted angrily. "You are the one who wants to die." Yang Hanlin was tit for tat. Well, you people of the Yang family have guts. Today, I will teach you a lesson and let you know that you can only hide here. If you dare to be arrogant, you will be punished. After saying that, Liu Buyang attacked Yang Hanlin again. The two golden claws were like dragons, and the power was much stronger than the previous one. If it was before the breakthrough, it would have been difficult for Yang Hanlin to block the two claws, but now he was not afraid. He shot out a black-green palm and shattered the golden dragon claws. "Kill!" Yang Hanlin was eager to fight. His fighting spirit was high as he shouted and rushed towards Liu Buyang. At this moment, his strength was completely released, and everyone felt that his combat effectiveness was completely different from before. He took half a step, Sun Chunqing said, with a look of extreme surprise. If reaching the Star Mark realm was the most important watershed for all warriors, then reaching the Jade Moon realm from the Star Mark realm was breaking through one's own limits and jumping into a new world. It was as difficult as ascending to the heavens, and it was not something an ordinary saint could do. Among 10,000 saints, at most 30 to 50 had the chance to break through to the heaven ascension realm. With such a probability, it could be seen how difficult it was. Yang Hanlin had been trapped at the peak of the Star Mark realm for thousands of years, and he had been unable to take half a step. If Yang Wu had not taught him the demon god arts, he would have died. He took half a step. No wonder he is so arrogant. I might as well send him to the Western Paradise today to avoid being an eyesore. Liu Buyang thought in his heart and erupted with strength to meet Yang Hanlin. The two half-step heaven ascension realm experts fought fiercely. Liu Buyang's body flickered with golden light like a golden bell, enveloping his body. Rays of golden light swept out like dragon claws, tearing the world apart. Yang Hanlin had just entered the half-step heaven ascension realm, but he was well prepared. The profound qi and demonic qi in his body merged into one. releasing demonic combat power. Every palm strike could shake the world. Rumble, rumble. The battle between the half-step Heaven Ascension realm experts was earth-shattering. The power was boundless, and the space seemed to be cracking. Countless waves of air surged, creating a shocking phenomenon. The people below were dumbfounded. Although they were all martial artists who had experienced hundreds of battles, it was rare to see a battle between half-step Heaven Ascension realm experts. Young Hamlin broke through to the half-step Heaven Ascension realm. No wonder he dared to provoke Chief Lu. So what if he broke through? His lifespan is almost up. How can he be a match for Chief Lu? The Yang family's Azure bloodline was originally weaker than the Black Tortoise bloodline. Young Hamlin should have kept a low profile after entering the half-step Heaven Ascension realm. Now that he is too impulsive, Chief Lu might beat him back to his original state. Why do I feel that Young Hamlin's combat power is not inferior to Chief Lu's? He seems to be able to use the demonic chi here. While the two half-step Heaven Ascension realm experts were fighting, the Xing family's saints surrounded Yang Wu and Yang Chaowei. At the same time, the Yang family's saints also rushed over. They would definitely not back down. Besides, the Lu family had always been on the same side as the Xing family. The Lu family's people had joined the Xing family's camp. You Yang family haven't learned your lesson over the years, Xing Da shouted. Destroy them, and the Yang family's territory will no longer exist in the world of battle. Bring it on if you have the ability, Yang Chaowei replied. Just as the three families were about to fight, Sun Chunxing shouted, Enough! The demon army just retreated, and we're already fighting among ourselves? Aren't we afraid of being laughed at by the demon army? A half-step Heaven Ascension expert spoke. He was very intimidating. At that moment, Xianyuan Azura's voice rang out. Everyone stop. If you continue to cause trouble, the only ones who will suffer losses are our battle clan. If you have the strength, why don't you deal with the demon army? After a pause, he added, Release Xing Min, and this matter will be over. When the real Heaven Ascension eccentric didn't appear, Xianyuan Azura represented the highest authority of the 8 great battle clans. If you want to release him, fine, but pay enough compensation. Chapter 1190. In the battle world, no one dared to go against Xianyuan Shura's words, not even those who were half-stepped to Sky Pass. Not only did Xianyuan Shura have extraordinary fighting power, but he also had the support of the Xianyuan family. The other battle clans had to give him face. However, Yang Wu dared to go against Xianyuan Shura. His courage was not ordinary. Xianyuan Shura appeared again. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he stared at Yang Wu. Are you sure? In an instant, Yang Wu felt an endless amount of demonic energy rush towards him. It quickly formed a ferocious Shura that suppressed his soul. The consciousness of a half-step to Sky Pass was amazing. It was easy for him to deal with a saint. Unfortunately, Xianyuan Shura had chosen the wrong person. Yang Wu's soul had reached the peak. He completely ignored his soul suppression and said calmly, He's a half-step to Sky Pass, yet he's shameless enough to deal with a junior like me. Now that I've suppressed him, it's not too much for me to ask for compensation. Not too much. Yang Wu, you're too presumptuous, Xing Da replied. Then, he looked at Xianyuan Azura and said, Azura leader, please help us. Xianyuan Shura ignored Xing Dao and looked at Yang Wu with a strange expression. As expected of this year's battle of the dragons and phoenixes. It's a pity your brain isn't good. You dare to disrespect me? Aren't you afraid I'll slap you to death? If I'm wrong for saving the people of the battle clans, then slap me to death. I don't think anyone will dare to save their own in the future, Yang Wu said fearlessly. You're very eloquent, Xianyuan Shura said. Then, he looked at the people who had been saved by Yang Wu and asked, Are you sure he saved you? These people were all seriously injured. Even though they had been treated, they were not in good condition. Under Xianyuan Shura's question, they all trembled. No one dared to answer. They belonged to different battle clans, so they knew that the Xing and Yang clans were fighting. They were not the main reason. They were just a bait. Once they answered, they would fall into a battle between the two clans. This was why they were worried. A delicate voice called out, I can confirm that he was the one who saved us. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice, and saw an ordinary woman answer Xian Yuan Shura's question. Xian Yuan Shura looked at the woman and asked, "Which clan are you from?" In the next moment, the woman stood up. Her tall and proud figure was very alluring. If she was a little more beautiful, she would definitely be a femme fatale. Unfortunately, her appearance greatly affected everyone's perception. "I'm a descendant of the Ho family, Ho Yu Dai," the woman calmly replied. At this moment, an aura fluctuated in a certain direction. Several figures rushed towards the woman. One of them asked, "Are you really the young mistress?" The person who asked the question was a saint at the pinnacle. He carried a huge saint bow on his back, which was very eye-catching. This was the unique attire of the Ho family. They cultivated the Tao of archery. The woman tied up her messy hair and tore off the fake skin on her face. A breathtakingly beautiful face appeared in front of everyone. Her eyebrows were curved like the moon. Her eyes were like ripples. Her nose was delicate, and her lips were alluring. This was a woman who could cause a calamity. Ho family's Ho Yu Dai. Aside from the Ho family, no one else knew about her identity. "Greetings, young Mississippi." Everyone from the Ho family knelt down respectfully towards the woman. At this moment, everyone understood that Ho Yu Dai's identity was extraordinary. The Ho clan was very mysterious among the 8 great battle clans. It seemed that they did not compete, but in reality, no one dared to provoke them. Their battle strength had always been very strong, especially their unparalleled archery. Only the Xian Yuan clan could overshadow their brilliance. The other clans did not have such qualifications. "Get up," Ho Yu Dai said indifferently. She then looked at Xian Yuan Azura and said, "We were indeed saved by him." At this moment, a saint at the pinnacle of the Ho clan stood up and said to Xian Yuan Azura, "Lord Azura, our young miss shouldn't be lying." Xian Yuan Azura narrowed his eyes and nodded. "And since Yang Wu has been cleared of suspicion, then the Xing clan is in the wrong. You guys can do as you see fit." With that, he left in a flash. After Xian Yuan Azura made the conclusion, the Xing clan did not dare to be too presumptuous. At this moment, Lu Biong, who was in the air, let out a long cry. "Yang Hanlin, you win." In the next moment, Lu Biong disappeared in the air and returned to the Lu clan's territory. Everyone was dumbfounded. Lu Biong was actually not Yang Hanlin's match. This was completely out of their expectations. Yang Hanlin looked at Lu Biong, who was running away, and smiled sinisterly. He thought to himself, as expected of the demon god art, "In this world, I am the true king." Yang Hanlin landed, and the Xing clan and Lu clan retreated quite a bit. Even though the 2 clans had many saints, it was still very difficult for them to deal with a half-step immortal ascension. "The demon army has retreated. Your Xing clan has to give up 2 mines before releasing your people. Otherwise, I'll kill you," Yang Hanlin shouted at the Xing clan. The Xing clan did not have any room to bargain. If Xing Min was killed, the Xing clan would suffer even greater losses. Moreover, if they gave up 2 mines, it would depend on whether the Yang clan could take it. After the Xing clan agreed to Yang Hanlin's request, Yang Wu took back the black tortoise seal. Xing Min flew into the air in a sorry state and shouted, "Yang Wu, I'm going to kill you. Do you still want to be suppressed?" Yang Wu replied, "Good, you're very good. I'll remember this debt." Xing Min did not have the face to stay here. After leaving behind these ruthless words, he turned around and disappeared. The Xing clan and Lu clan also retreated. The other battle clans had seen enough of the commotion. They hurriedly returned to their own mines and started a new round of mining. The Ho clan did not leave. Ho Yu Dai walked towards Yang Wu and said with a faint smile, "Many thanks for young Master Yang's saving grace." Yang Wu looked at this woman whose beauty was not inferior to Violet Yu Yu and Xinyuan Huowu. She was a perfect stunner, extremely enchanting. Yang Wu quickly recovered and said, "It was just a matter of convenience. There's no need to be polite. For you, it was just a matter of convenience, but for me, it was a life-saving grace. I will repay you all." Ho Yu Dai said seriously, then turned around and left with the Ho clan. Yang Wu looked at this woman's moving figure. He could not see through her strength at all. He felt that she was an ordinary person, but he also felt that she was a hidden expert. However, if she had such a noble status, why did she go to the Devil Realm and be captured by the Devil Clan? This was an enigmatic woman. Yang Wu, Yang Hamlin, and Yang Chaohui returned to the Yang Clan's cultivation area. The Yang Clan's Black Tortoise Army and Azure Dragon Army surrounded them. We welcome young master's return. The army of 100,000 uniformly knelt down and saluted Yang Wu. This voice soared into the sky with a torrential momentum. It condensed a power that was even stronger than before. This was the embodiment of the unity of the army of 100,000. This was extremely advantageous for them in battle. This was the spirit that Yang Wu brought to them. It was the result of Yang Wu's temperament as a leader. They all saw how Yang Wu used the Black Tortoise to suppress Xingmin and help them vent their resentment. They felt extremely good and admired this young master from the bottom of their hearts. If they were led by the young master, they would definitely be invincible. The young master is what everyone wants. Yang Chaohui sighed in his heart. Previously, he looked down on Yang Wu a little. However, after Yang Wu displayed enough shocking strength, he began to treat Yang Wu as the young master. Now, he admired Yang Wu from the bottom of his heart. They would definitely rise because of Yang Wu. Yang Wu encouraged the two battle teams and had them go to the mining area to reclaim it. He also had them take back the ore vein that the Xing clan gave up. In addition, Yang Wu also planned to build the Devil Cleansing Pool. The white-haired demoness had already bought the missing ingredients from the Alchemist Alliance. Yang Songbo brought Yang Wu to an empty space. There was a deep pit there. It was the location of the Devil Cleansing Pool. There were mountains on 3 sides and a passage on 1 side. It was an easy place to defend and hard to attack. It was also not easy to be discovered. The Yang clan also had people who were good at setting up formations. As long as the Devil Cleansing Pool was built, they could set up a formation to isolate this place. It would be difficult for others to discover its existence. After the Devil Cleansing Pool is built, I will personally oversee this place. Yang Hamlin said, with the Devil Cleansing Pool, the clan can send more people here to train. However, I don't think it's a good idea to keep guarding this place. The demons already have a passage to the Transcendent Realm. Moreover, once they reach the Transcendent Realm, their fighting strength will be affected. There is no need to keep wasting time with them here. Yang Wu said, Young Master may not know this, but we have been guarding this place because this is the origin of our 8 great battle clans. Look at this large area. It was once a mining area. We have continuously occupied it, leaving behind the blood of countless demons. There is also the blood of our battle clans. If we give up on this place, we will forget the origin of our battle clan. This is also the reason why the clan has never given up on this place. Yang Hamlin said with a sigh, although that is the case, sending our clansmen here to mine is not worth it. The demonic chi here is rampant. Not everyone can withstand it. Young Master is right. Therefore, if you build the Devil Cleansing Pool, it will help us get rid of this problem. Actually, the Xinyuan clan, the Ho clan, and the Xing clan all have similar Devil Cleansing Pools. It's just that they are not open to the public. Yes, let's not talk about this for now. After I finish building the Devil Cleansing Pool, I will think about how to increase the overall strength of the army. This is the true foundation of survival. Young Master, with this great merit, your name will go down in the clan for eternity. Chapter 1191. Building the Devil Cleansing Pool required a large amount of herbs. Yang Wu had a lot of herbs himself, and the Saints of the Yang family also had a lot of them. He also bought some more and finally gathered all of them. Yang Wu walked into the deep pit and stepped on the ground. He activated the Dragon Turtle Water Suppression style, and the power of his feet penetrated deep into the ground, guiding the water up. Yang Wu split his attention. Blue Demoness appeared and refined the herbs one by one. Many medicinal liquids began to fall into the pool and slowly dissolved. This was not alchemy, but simply refining the essence of the herbs. By fusing a large amount of herbs with the water, it would naturally form the Devil Cleansing Pool. After Yang Wu entered the Star Rune realm, his alchemy speed became faster and faster. In almost an instant, the essence of the medicinal liquid was formed. The few people outside the deep pit looked at Yang Wu's alchemy skills and were all amazed. Young clan leader is indeed a top alchemist. His alchemy skills are really extraordinary. Before young clan leader went deep into the devil realm, he had not broken through to the star rune realm. But in just a month, young clan leader directly broke through to the 3-star rune realm. Even the cultivation speed of the innate battle body is not as fast as him. Young clan leader is very lucky. In the future, he will definitely be an overlord. How can we guess? Yang Wu floated in the air above the deep pit. After refining many medicinal herbs into the pool water, the quality of the underground water changed. It turned green, and there were traces of Baian's aura floating around. The demonic qi was repelled and had no way to approach the pool water. After refining dozens of saint herbs, hundreds of saint herbs, and a large amount of low-grade herbs, I finally achieved the effect of purifying the demonic qi. Yang Wu said with satisfaction. He paused for a moment and said, "This is only the most ordinary devil cleansing pool. After 100,000 people soak in it, the medicinal effect will quickly disappear. I'm afraid it won't last for 10 years. I still need to add some stones." In the next moment, Yang Wu threw many pure light stones into the pool. These were only heaven-grade stones. They were the cornerstones to maintain the devil cleansing pool. They could support the devil cleansing pool for at least 100 years. If we add a bit more divine marrow liquid, not only will it purify the demonic energy, it will also strengthen their physiques. Who knows, it might have an unexpected effect. By the way, we can also bury some sacred soil here. It will be useful for the saint realm. If I plant some spiritual herbs that can grow longer, I might be able to increase the vitality of the pool water. Yang Wu continued to perfect the devil purifying pond. As he continued to add precious items, the devil purifying pond emitted a pure and flawless light. No matter who saw it, they couldn't help but want to soak in it. Yang Chaowei and Yang Songhua had such an impulse. They had a lot of demonic qi and negative emotions. After suppressing them for so many years, in front of this purifying power, they couldn't wait to get rid of these negative emotions in one go. After doing this, Yang Wu said to them, "You guys try going into the water." "Young patriarch, can we really do it?" Yang Chaowei asked. "It's just the purifying devil qi. There's no problem. You guys must not absorb the energy here. You guys have reached the Star Mark realm, so it's very easy for you guys to absorb the medicinal strength here." Yang Wu reminded. "Okay, then I'll give it a try." Yang Chaohui responded and walked into the devil purifying pond first. Suddenly, the demonic qi in his body seemed to have met its nemesis. Strands of demonic qi drilled out of his body and could be seen clearly with the naked eye. This is really magical. Yang Chaohui felt the devil qi in his body being expelled, especially the negative emotions in his soul being constantly expelled. His soul became more solid, and in an instant, it became much clearer. The effect was even more obvious than when he took the spirit-cleansing herbs. At this moment, he felt the power of his soul increasing. This was the reaction after his soul was purified. The improvement of the soul was greatly beneficial to the improvement of the realm. In other words, if he maintained this state at all times, it wouldn't be long before he could step into the realm of a top-notch saint. Yang Chaohui suppressed the joy in his heart and closed his eyes. He sank into the devil purifying pond. A lot of demonic qi frantically rushed out, not daring to stay in his body. The effect is very obvious. "Songhua, why aren't you going in?" Yang Hamlin praised and then reminded the people beside him. Thus, Yang Songhua impatiently ran into the devil purifying pond. He was the same as Yang Chaohui. The demonic qi in his body was rapidly expelled. His soul became clear and rapidly improved. The demonic qi in my body has been expelled. Young patriarch, you are really too awesome." Yang Songhua was like a happy child as he laughed and said. And it seems the effect is really not bad. Yang Wu also laughed and then said to Yang Hamlin beside him, "Quickly lay down the array to isolate the changes here." "Yes, young patriarch." Yang Hamlin responded and impatiently went to do it. The next step is to help the Black Tortoise army become stronger. Yang Wu thought in his heart. He awakened the power of his bloodline and possessed the inheritance of the Yang family's ancestors. After he broke through to the Star Rune realm, many memories of the inheritance appeared in his mind. These were the inheritances that the Yang family urgently needed, so he wasn't stingy to pass them on. Some of the Yang family's secret techniques were already in the possession of the family, so there wasn't much difference between them and what he had obtained. For example, the Black Tortoise astral body technique, the Black Tortoise steps, the Black Tortoise battle armor. These were all secrets of the Yang family that were not passed on to outsiders. Yang Xiaowei and Yang Songbua stayed in the pond for half a day before they came out. The two were in high spirits and spirited. They didn't look the least bit like they were tainted by demonic qi. Thank you, young patriarch, for building the devil purifying pond. The two knelt down on one knee and said gratefully, "Get up. How to arrange for people to enter the devil purifying pond will be up to you. However, only 1,000 people can enter it most at a time. More than that won't do. Also, you must not refine and absorb the energy here. The main purpose is to purify demonic energy. Unless you accidentally break through to the next realm, you can borrow the energy of the pond to increase your strength." Yang Wu told the two some things to take note of, and they took note of them one by one. After that, Yang Wu asked Yang Songbua to arrange for people to enter the devil purifying pond. He walked to the other side with Yang Xiaowei and asked about the Black Tortoise army. For example, what battle skills they were cultivating, what secret techniques they were cultivating, so that he could think of ways to deal with them. He had obtained the inheritance of the bloodline awakening. If others didn't awaken their bloodline like him, they might not be able to obtain so many cultivation resources. Yang Xiaowei explained everything to Yang Wu. Just as Yang Wu had expected, the Black Tortoise army still had some inheritances. They had some battle skills and secret techniques, but some of them were incomplete or extinct. The Black Tortoise army mostly cultivated the reverse dragon spear technique, the Black Tortoise fist, and some other battle skills that were not part of the Yang family. The inheritances of the Yang family were extremely exquisite, but unfortunately, not everyone could obtain them. It was understandable that they would learn some battle skills that were not part of the Yang family in order to increase their strength. Yang Wu didn't only cultivate the secret techniques of the Yang family. Yang Wu felt that those who had the Black Tortoise bloodline of the Yang family were more suited to cultivate the secret techniques of the inheritance. Thus, Yang Wu passed on the 3 battle skills and the secret technique of the Black Tortoise astral body to Yang Xiaowei. After obtaining these 3 battle skills and secret techniques, Yang Xiaowei was overjoyed. "Young clan leader, have you reached the reverse ancestral bloodline?" Yang Wu nodded. "You can say that. The heavens have taken pity on us. The heavens have taken pity on us. Our Yang family finally has a descendant with the reverse ancestral bloodline. Haha." Yang Xiaowei laughed wildly. "Leader Xiaowei, young clan leader, you could just call me Xiaowei. There's no need to be so polite to me. If you want me to climb a mountain of blades or dive into a sea of flames, I won't refuse. You are the hope of our Yang family. Then let me ask you, do you know how many inheritances the family has left?" "Young clan leader, listen to me in detail. Apart from the reverse dragon spear technique, there aren't many high-level inheritances left behind. This is a rule set by the ancestors of the Yang family. Because the high-level inheritances are branded in the bloodline, as long as we constantly strive to become stronger and stronger and awaken more talent in the bloodline, we can naturally obtain those inheritances. Otherwise, the inheritances will disappear along with the bloodline. The ancestors' intention is very clear. As long as the bloodline doesn't disappear, the inheritances will always be passed down. At the same time, they hope that all the disciples of the family will work hard to become more outstanding. Now that you mention it, I understand. Yes, in the past 10,000 years, it has been very difficult for our Yang family to reach the reverse ancestral bloodline. Fortunately, Young Clan Leader has reached this step. This means that our Yang family will soar again." Yang Wu and Yang Xiaowei chatted for half a day before taking out some second-grade immortal liquid and giving it to Yang Chaohui. This wasn't for him alone, but for all the Yang family saints. Yang Wu wanted to make the Yang family army stronger in one go and consolidate the Yang family's position in the battle world. After suffering a loss in the Xing family's territory, Xing Min was extremely angry. He couldn't wait to kill Yang Wu immediately. That little bastard must die, he must die, Xing Min roared. He was a half-step into the sky-piercing realm and had made a fool of himself in front of so many people. If he didn't kill Yang Wu, how could he survive in the battle world in the future? Great leader, it's not difficult to kill Yang Wu. I have a plan that can make him stay in the battle world forever, Xing Dao said to Xing Min. What plan do you have? Tell me quickly, Xing Min said loudly. I found out who the woman in the Hou family is. She is the sister of the head of the Hou family, Hou Yudai. Her strength is sometimes strong and sometimes weak. It is not stable. I don't know what went wrong. This time, she came to the battle world to collect some demon materials to solve her problem. It is rumored that the head of the Hou family dotes on his sister very much. If it is said that she is related to Yang Wu, the Hou family will not let him go. This is your plan? Do you have any brains? Yang Wu is so outstanding. If the Hou family invites him to be their son-in-law, won't we set up a strong enemy for ourselves? Great leader, you should know what kind of virtue the Hou family is. They will never let the high-level blood flow out. They only allow marriage within the family. Although the power of their bloodline has continued, some strange fellows have also been born. As long as we incite them, there will be people who want Yang Wu's life. At that time, we will secretly take action and kill him. Good, you hurry up and do it. I must kill Yang Wu in the battle world. Chapter 1192. The Hou family was a family with a long history, no less than the Xinyuan family. The Hou family didn't like to fight, but their reputation had never fallen. Anyone who saw the Hou family would retreat. Not only were they powerful, but they were also eccentric. It was difficult for people to get close to them. The Hou family never married outsiders. They didn't allow their bloodline to flow out. The Hou family had always been marrying within the family, just to give birth to pure-blooded children. The Hou family's method of inheritance was good, but it also led to a big problem. The major clans allowed people outside of 3 generations to marry, but not within 3 generations. However, the Hou family did not forbid this. They believed that the closer the marriage, the stronger the offspring would be. Therefore, many people in a family would get married within 3 generations. For example, siblings would get married, cousins would get married, and even uncles would get married to nieces. This kind of taboo was despised by the world, but the Hou family didn't care at all. They still followed this method of inheritance. Hou Yudai was a natural beauty. She was the most beautiful woman in the Hou family. There were countless people who liked her. It was rumored that her brother, who was also the patriarch of the Hou family, wanted to marry her. They were brother and sister. How could they get married? This was a taboo matter. Hou Yudai was troubled by this, so she took the initiative to come to the battle world. She didn't want to marry close relatives like the rest of the family. She was disgusted. She wanted to escape from the family and live the same life as other women. She wanted to find someone she loved and spend the rest of her life hand in hand. Hou Yudai's strength was extraordinary. She went deep into the devil world to find something to solve the problem of her body. She had reached the high-level star rune realm long ago. It was not difficult for her to fight against the top star rune realm. With her means, even a half-step Tongtian realm creature couldn't do anything to her. Unfortunately, when her hidden danger flared up, she was captured by the devil race. If Yang Wu hadn't happened to pass by, she would have become the food of the devil race. She was very grateful to Yang Wu. At the same time, she also had some interest in Yang Wu. He was not only an invincible emperor at such a young age, but also suppressed Xing Min. He was really a peerless genius. She just admired Yang Wu, but it didn't mean that she liked him. What she needed was a strong man who could protect her and help her break away from the influence of her family. But this man was too hard to find. Would a true overlord care about a woman like her? Even if she was very confident in her appearance, that kind of person would definitely not lack beautiful women. Therefore, She had to become stronger and become a beautiful and powerful woman. Only then would those overlords like to conquer such a woman. No matter how difficult it is, I must escape from this fate. I have had enough of this disgusting life. After you die, finished healing, she stroked her plump chest and swore. At this moment, a voice sounded from outside the room. Young miss, Lord Ho-Gu has come to visit. I won't see him. Tell him to scram. Ho-Yu-Dai replied with a look of disgust. My niece, why are you so angry? You don't even want to meet your uncle. You don't give me any face. A voice with a sinister tone rang out. Then, a tall figure barged in. This was a middle-aged man, wearing a suit of armor, looking quite heroic. His face outlined a trace of an evil smile, and his eyes were greedily wandering over Ho-Yudi's body. Ho-Gu was a peak saint, and also Ho-Yudi's uncle. Although he was not a half-step into the heavenly transcendence realm, he had used his strength to kill many half-step heavenly transcendence demon gods. His archery was extremely powerful. Get out, you're not welcome here. Ho-Yu-Dai reprimanded Ho-Gu rudely. Niece, I am your uncle. Why are you so angry? Uncle likes you very much. Didn't you come to the world of battles to be with me? I think it's better for us to get married. Ho-Gu said with a scorching look. Then, he approached Ho-Yu-Dai and touched her face. Ho-Yu-Dai quickly retreated, and her beautiful eyes flashed with a sharp light. Do you want to die? You're so fierce, but Uncle really likes you. Why do you keep me 1,000 miles away? Ho-Gu was also a little afraid of Ho-Yu-Dai, so he didn't dare to push her too hard. He thought to himself, when your strength drops, I will cook you. At that time, even if the old ancestor knows, he won't punish me. I am not interested in you. Get out of here, or don't blame me for being impolite. Ho-Yu-Dai said sternly. If you're not interested in me, are you interested in that boy from the Yang family? Ho-Gu narrowed his eyes and asked, What do you mean? You know what I mean? You would rather expose your identity to protect that boy from the Yang family. Aren't you tempted by him? There are already rumors outside that you have an affair with him. If this news spreads to the family, do you know what the consequences will be? Nonsense, I met him for the first time. What did we have an affair? He, whether it is true or not, I have decided to kill him. You dare? Why wouldn't I dare? Ha! Yang Wu naturally didn't know that someone was preparing to deal with him. He was welcoming guests. The guest who came to the Yang family's rest area was Sun Chunqing, who was half a step to Tong Tian. He was accompanied by 2 other sages from his Sun family. The Yang family and the Sun family had formed an alliance, but in the world of battles, the relationship between the 2 families was not close. The people of the 2 families had been fighting with the Devil Clan for a long time, and each of them had absorbed a lot of devil chi. They were extremely violent and didn't care much about the orders of their families as long as it was not a death order. What's more, the Yang family was weak, and the Sun family didn't care about it, so they had never paid attention to the alliance. Now, Yang Wu showed extraordinary fighting power and suppressed Xing Min, and Yang Hanlin also entered the half-step to Tong Tian realm. In the world of battles, the Yang family had the strength of 2 half-step to Tong Tian realm, which was enough to make other families look up to them. This was also the reason why Sun Chunqing put down his status and took the initiative to make friends. After reaching the half-step to Tong Tian realm, it was not so easy to be invaded by devil chi, and their minds were very clear. Young Master Yang, your talent is extraordinary. You have become the first invincible emperor of a human clan in 10,000 years. Your name has already spread far and wide. Now that I see you, you are indeed a dragon among men. Sun Chunqing praised Yang Wu directly. Lord Sun, you flatter me. Yang Wu replied modestly, and then he said, I also have to thank Lord Sun for speaking up for justice. Otherwise, the people of the Xing family would be even more arrogant. The 2 of you have been angry for a long time, Sun Chunqing said, patting his chest. It is normal for him to want to make an example of you. But we are allies, and in the future, the Yang family's business will also be the Sun family's business. Yang Hanlin was stunned, and then he laughed. Ha! Sun Chunqing, your wishful thinking is very good, but I like it. Yang Hanlin, you can reach the half-step to Tong Tian realm. It seems that you have a chance to reach the Yue realm. We should have a good chat. Of course, of course. In the future, The Yang family and the Sun family should be closer. Sun Chunqing stayed for 2 hours, then said his goodbyes and left. Yang Wu also felt that it was time for him to leave the world of battle. The Saint Transformation Pool was about to open. Even if he broke through to the Celestial Rune Realm, he still had to make a trip. Yang Xiaowei wanted to give the Black Tortoise Seal to Yang Wu for safekeeping. In his opinion, the Black Tortoise Seal was most suitable for Yang Wu. It would be a great waste for it to be in his hands. Yang Wu refused without hesitation. The Black Tortoise Seal was not bad, but compared to the Big Dipper sword, it was still lacking. Not to mention, he still had the Divine Weapon Electric Fork. After reaching the Celestial Rune Realm, he would be able to use the Divine Weapon Electric Fork. Before I leave, I should have Little Hay forge the Devil Shadow Stone into a Devil Shadow Needle. Yang Wu thought to himself. Little Hay had already returned. No one knew that the little hay dog on Yang Wu's shoulder could even kill a demon god powerhouse. Yang Wu told Little Hay his thoughts. Little Hay naturally wouldn't refuse. It would take at most half a day to forge the Devil Shadow Needle for Yang Wu. During this half a day, Yang Wu also took some ores from the Yang family in case he needed them in the future. He called white-haired Demonis, Little Man, Sun Do, Yang Ba, Su Zhu, and the others over and prepared to leave with them. Little Man, Sun Do, Yang Ba, and Su Zhu were all prodigies ranked in the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon and Heavenly Phoenix rankings. They were all qualified to enter the Saint Transformation Pool. Soon, Little Hay completely refined the Devil Shadow Stone into Devil Shadow Needles. There were a total of 108 needles, each as thin as a strand of hair. It was difficult to see them clearly with the naked eye. Refine them and store them in the Divine Court. In the future, they will be even more useful than the God-striking whip. They can kill people without leaving a trace. Little Hay said, the Devil Shadow Needle was only a Saint-tier weapon, but for someone who could control soul power attacks, it was the best weapon. Yang Wu dripped a drop of blood essence and poured his soul power into the Devil Shadow Needle. He connected with the Devil Shadow Needle and stored it in the Divine Court. The Devil Shadow Stone was special because it could be refined into the Divine Court. Other materials couldn't do this. The matter in the realm of battle is over. We should go. Yang Wu said to his companions. Let's go. Once we enter the Saint Transformation Pool, I can become a saint. Sun Do said confidently. Me too, Yang Ba said from the side. The two of them were already half-saints. Even if they didn't enter the Saint Transformation Pool, they could still break through with their own strength. However, entering the Saint Transformation Pool would be even better. It would definitely speed up their cultivation. Su Zhu didn't say anything, but his eyes were filled with murderous intent and strong confidence. Then, they bid farewell to Yang Hamlin, Yang Xiaowei, Yang Songbua, and the others. Yang Hamlin, Yang Xiaowei, and Yang Songbua knew that Yang Wu and the others were going to enter the Saint Transformation Pool, so they didn't ask them to stay. After a few words of gratitude and flattery, they allowed Yang Wu and the others to leave. When Yang Wu and the others left the realm of battle, the Ho clan and the Xing clan received the news. Next year, today will be Yang Wu's death anniversary. Chapter 1193. The world of battles was a mining area. It was very large, and there were mines everywhere. The 8 great battle clans have been guarding the world of battles for many years, but they had never finished digging. Aside from the interference of the demon race, there was something special about this place. It was the border between the transcendent world and the demon race. It contained some unknown secrets. Yang Wu took Whitehair, which Little Man, Sun Do, and the others, and quickly left the world of battles. After leaving the world of battles, they arrived at the barren land of War God City. In the past, Yang Wu had killed many experts in this area. Those people wanted to kill him and obtain the rewards of the Xing clan. Now that the Xing clan had canceled the bounty, the number of people who wanted to kill Yang Wu had decreased greatly. After all, Yang Wu was the invincible king of the battle between the dragon race and the phoenix race. It meant that Yang Wu had the strength to suppress creatures of his generation. He had one great glory for the human race. If other people were allowed to put a bounty on his head, wouldn't that be killing the peerless geniuses of the human race and digging their own graves? At this moment, Yang Wu was sitting cross-legged on the golden-crowned eagle. His soul was constantly urging the 108 needles. He needed to familiarize himself with them as soon as possible. They would be a great killing weapon for him. With his current fighting strength, as long as he didn't meet a transcendent realm expert, he would be able to protect himself. It wasn't that easy to defeat a half-step into the heavenly completion realm expert. Even if he were to deal with a peak saint realm expert, it would still be very strenuous. After all, after reaching the Star Rune realm, the gap in strength between each level was very large. Even if his combat strength was astonishing, it wouldn't be easy to cross multiple levels. If he wanted to close the gap, or even kill an opponent stronger than him, he would need to rely on external forces. The demonic needle was a soul weapon. It was controlled by soul strength. It could directly attack the opponent's soul and kill it, as expected of a specter needle made from the rarely seen specter stone. Each needle is as thin as a strand of hair, but each needle weighs over 50 kilograms. Normal soul cultivators would not be able to control such gravity. Yang Wu secretly rejoiced. Suddenly, Little Hei's voice sounded in Yang Wu's ear. "Little Wu, be careful. There's an enemy attack." Yang Wu was immersed in the state of familiarity with the phantom needles. He did not hear Hei's warning and instantly woke up. Feeling the astonishing power coming from behind him, he shouted without hesitation, "Dodge!" He could have jumped off the golden-crowned eagle, but he did not want the golden-crowned eagle to be injured. He forced the golden-crowned eagle down. The golden-crowned eagle and the others were shocked. When Yang Wu and the golden-crowned eagle changed their positions, an arrow shadow shot out from their original position, drawing a dazzling light. The arrow landed on a mountain in the distance, causing it to explode on the spot. The power of the arrow was astonishing. "You dodged my first arrow. Let's see if you can dodge my second arrow." In the distance, a person holding an ancient bow said and attacked again. 2 arrows were released. Swoosh, swoosh. These 2 arrows were even faster than the previous ones. It was as if 2 dragons were roaring and charging over. Their power was incomparably strong. This was the power of a top-tier saint. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Yang Wu and the golden-crowned eagle. The arrows were too fast. Yang Wu took out the double-edged 3-dragon spear and smashed it against the 2 arrows. The arrows were too powerful. Yang Wu was sent flying by one of the arrows. The double-edged 3-dragon spear almost flew out of his hand. Yang Wu didn't have time to block the other arrow. It landed on the golden-crowned eagle, causing it to bleed. The arrow of a top-tier saint was not something the golden-crowned eagle could block. Even though he had received the inferior immortal liquid from Yang Wu and was close to the demon saint realm, he was still killed by this arrow. "Eagle!" Yang Wu cried out in pain. Without waiting for him to save the golden-crowned eagle, the arrow turned around and shot at him again. "Ah, you deserve to die." Yang Wu was furious. He used all his power. The double-edged 3-dragon spear hit the arrow. The arrow shook and his arm went numb. "Protect the Lord." White-haired demoness shouted. She pulled out her silver sword and charged at the person who shot the arrow. Without waiting for her to charge over, Yang Wu blocked her and shouted, "All of you go back. I will kill him myself." The golden-crowned eagle was a peerless genius of the demon race. He was no weaker than Tuoba Fian. He was willing to follow Yang Wu because he was impressed by Yang Wu's power. But before he could grow up with Yang Wu, he would die here. It would be a pity. Yang Wu would never treat his followers unfairly. For example, Yang Jinlong and the silver-patterned tortoise. As long as he had cultivation resources, he would give them to them and treat them as equals. Now that the golden-crowned eagle had been killed by a single arrow, his fury soared to the heavens. His killing intent overflowed. He had to kill the murderer and avenge the golden-crowned eagle. The nether ice wing blades on Yang Wu's body opened, and his speed increased dramatically. He turned into a meteor and rushed towards the location of the murderer. The killer was Ho Gu from the Ho family, a top-tier saint. They had already left the battle world. Even if Ho Gu killed Yang Wu, the Yang family would not know. Unfortunately, Yang Wu had dodged his sneak attack. Furthermore, Yang Wu had been able to block his arrow. as expected of a genius who could suppress a half-step heaven-piercing expert. Let's get real. Let's see how many arrows you can block. Hoga sneered. He shot out 5 arrows. Each arrow contained boundless power. They were like shooting stars. In the blink of an eye, they were in front of Yang Wu. If it were any other saint, even if they had reached the peak, they might not be able to block those 5 arrows. Yang Wu's soul was powerful, and his consciousness was shocking. He could clearly sense the attack of those 5 arrows. Unfortunately, he had no way to dodge them. Those 5 arrows were coming from different directions, sealing off all his escape routes. He could only face them head-on. Bang! Yang Wu blocked 3 arrows in a row. 2 of the arrows brushed past his shoulders and thighs, taking away a large piece of flesh. It was a ghastly sight. Without the help of a divine weapon, Yang Wu could not fight against a powerful saint like Ho Ge. Damn it! He is one of the leaders of the Ho family. Why does he want to kill the Lord? Yang Ba gnashed his teeth. Let's go together and die for the Lord. Su Chu said. Just as they were about to rush over, Sun Do stopped them and shouted, Don't go. If we rush over, we will only distract Big Brother. Are we just going to wait? Su Chu said anxiously. Who told us to be so weak? Sun Do clenched his fists and said. At this time, Little Man rushed to Little Hay and said anxiously, Little Hay, why aren't you helping the young master? Little Man was loyal to Yang Wu. She was willing to die for Yang Wu, but that did not mean she was stupid. If she really rushed over to help Yang Wu, it would only backfire. Don't worry, Little Wu can handle it. Little Hay said calmly. The opponent is too strong. Hurry up and go help him. Otherwise, I will ignore you. Don't worry. With me here, Little Wu will be fine. Let him vent for a while. Yang Wu really did need a vent. The death of the golden-crowned eagle had given him too much of a shock. Yang Wu continued to rush towards Ho Ge. The Netherworld Ice Wing Blade was comparable to a top-grade saint weapon, and its flying speed was comparable to that of a top-grade saint. Under his full speed, he continuously dodged Ho Ji's attacks. Even if he was grazed, he did not care. In his eyes, there was only Ho Ge. If you played enough, I will send you on your way. Ho Ge sneered. His fingers clasped onto the arrow, activating the power of the constellations. The 12 perfect astral inscriptions emitted a boundless light. Beams of astral energy descended upon him, forming a shocking phenomenon. A single arrow shot out seemed to be able to explode 9 constellations. The power of this arrow was many times stronger than before. This was Ho Ji's true strength. Just now, he was just toying with Yang Wu. This arrow could kill a half-level heaven-reaching saint, and it could also challenge a true heaven-reaching saint. Yang Wu stared at the arrow. He felt a strong threat. If he could not block it, this arrow was enough to shoot him to death. Break for me. Without any hesitation, Yang Wu took out his Big Dipper sword and slashed out a sword strike that cut through the sky and chopped down on the arrow feather. The arrow feather was directly cut into pieces by this sword strike, but there was still a majestic sword aura that flew towards Ho Ge. Ho Ji's eyelids twitched, and he dodged to the side, narrowly avoiding this sword. Bang! The sword landed on Ho Ji's original position, and instantly slashed out a sword mark that was tens of thousands of feet long. A lot of smoke and dust billowed. I will kill you. Yang Wu's killing intent was awe-inspiring. He slashed out with the Big Dipper sword, and each sword chi carried the power to destroy stars. The first move of the star-swallowing sword technique, world splitting. Under this sword, 2 worlds could be split. Yang Wu had obtained the Big Dipper sword, and also a top-level sword skill, which could better display the power of sword intent. The Big Dipper sword was even stronger than the Black Tortoise seal, and its attack power was even more shocking. Ho Ge was scared and dodged again and again, and did not dare to meet Yang Wu head-on. Divine weapon. This is definitely a divine weapon. I did not expect the Yang family to invest so much in it. If I can get it, it will definitely increase my battle power. Ho Ge said with a greedy look. Then, he changed his direction and used his magical archery skill. Shooting Sun Arrow. It was rumored that the ancestor of the Ho family was a descendant of the shooting sun god, and he had a divine skill, shooting Sun Arrow skill. It was this divine skill that Hoge was using now. It was not easy to master this arrow skill. Not only did one have to have enough strength, but also enough soul power. With strength as the foundation, one had to pour soul power into it and then lock onto the opponent. Even if the opponent flew into the sky or dived into the ground, they would not be able to escape. Facing this shocking arrow, Yang Wu did not even try to escape. He directly slashed with his sword, and the arrow exploded. However, when he slashed at the arrow suddenly split and turned into countless small arrow shadows that shot toward him. Yang Wu did not have time to defend, and he suffered the pain of thousands of arrows piercing through his heart. Ha! My shooting sun arrow is ever-changing. How can you destroy it with brute force? Just wait for your death. Hoge laughed wildly. Want to kill me? I will send you on your way first. Yang Wu endured the pain and roared. His soul power was activated, and tiny needle shadows shot out. Demonic Needle. Chapter 1194. The demonic needle had been refined into the God's Court. Only when it was activated would it come out of the God's Court. Yang Wu's soul power was shocking. It was comparable to a top saint's. When he activated the demonic needle, the 108 needles shot out at the same time. After being polished, the demonic needle was not only small, but it was also almost invisible when injected with soul power. Only a martial artist with a powerful will could sense its existence. Otherwise, they wouldn't be able to discover its existence. Hoji's combat power was comparable to a half-step into the Heaven's Court. He wasn't even afraid of a true Heaven's Court cultivator. Unfortunately, his focus was completely on Yang Wu. He wanted to see Yang Wu get killed, but he didn't expect the demonic needle to come at him. The demonic shadow needle pierced into his soul, riddling it with holes. Hoji's soul exploded from the demonic needle. He died on the spot. There was no suspense. Yang Wu didn't have it easy either. He was hit by the shooting sun arrows, and his body kept bleeding. Even with his Saint Dragon body, he almost couldn't take it. Fortunately, the sacred mandala flower appeared in time and blocked a lot of arrows for him, allowing him to survive. Young Master, white-haired Demoness, Little Man, Sun Do, Yang Ba, Su Chu, and the others quickly flew over. Don't come over, Yang Wu shouted. He could still sense that there was still danger lurking around. Sure enough, when his voice fell, a black flame suddenly fell from the sky. It was like a falling fireball, smashing toward him. The black fireball's power was shocking. It was no weaker than the shooting sun arrows that Hoge had just shot. Yang Wu was seriously injured. How could he block such a terrifying fireball? Little man, stop it, shouted Yang Wu. The sacred mandala flower grew rapidly. Evil energy rushed toward the fireball along with the flower vines. Bang! The sacred mandala flower was a high-level saint. It could use the power of top saint. It could barely block the fireball, but it wouldn't last long. Master, I can only block it for 10 breaths, said the sacred mandala flower anxiously. 10 breaths is enough, Yang Wu replied. The universe space in his body rapidly refined the second-grade immortal liquid, and his body recovered rapidly. After 5 breaths, the injuries on his body had almost disappeared. This was the recovery speed of the second-grade immortal liquid and the Star Rune Realm. By the 8th breath, the fireball had already come crashing down on him and the sacred mandala flower. He swung his sword furiously, and the light of his sword flashed. Star Swallowing Sword Techniques, second move, Star Destroyer. Rumble, rumble. The star-destroying sword style and the majestic fireball exploded together. Countless sparks flew in all directions, shaking the space to the point that it collapsed. Die, you little bastard. Xing Min rushed out and took the opportunity to continuously attack Yang Wu, not giving Yang Wu any chance to survive. This time, he had brought along the Black Dragon Divine Sword, a divine weapon of the Xing family. He was confident that he could kill Yang Wu with his sword. Streaks of sword flashes with black flames swept towards Yang Wu. Every strike had the power to destroy heaven and earth. How could Yang Wu block it? A half-step heaven-reaching realm expert with a divine weapon could already fight with a true heaven-reaching realm expert. Yang Wu no longer had the slightest advantage. Yang Wu held the Big Dipper sword and frantically tried to block, but he was forced to retreat. There were many wounds on his body. The strength of a half-step heaven-reaching realm expert was too strong. Without the Big Dipper sword in hand, he would definitely be killed. It's too late to use the demonic needle now. This guy is too strong. The gap between us is too big, but that's not a reason for me to retreat. Let's use the power of the stars to fight. Yang Wu thought to himself. The bloodline power in his body boiled, and his battle strength soared crazily. The black tortoise armor floated, forming 3 layers of saint robes that covered his entire body. At the same time, 3 lines of star lines shone, and a majestic power of the stars was drawn to him. The blue power of the stars rippled all over his body, and the powerful sword light slashed out again. The third move of the star-swallowing sword technique, Star-Destroying River. Yang Wu had comprehended this move for many years and had been practicing it. In a moment of desperation, he used it again. Coupled with the power of the stars, it exploded with a terrifying power. Under the sword, many stars were shattered, as if a river of stars had been destroyed. This was the power of a divine skill, and also the power condensed by his sword while reaching the extreme. No matter how strong your foundation is, in front of an absolute power gap, only death awaits you. Xingmin could feel Yang Wu's battle strength. Coupled with the divine sword, he could kill a half-step into the heaven-piercing realm. However, he was a half-step into the heaven-piercing realm of the battle race. Under his full power, coupled with the divine sword, he was completely above Yang Wu. The black dragon divine sword swept out, and a black fire dragon devoured Yang Wu's power, causing an extremely powerful killing power. Puff! Yang Wu's all-out attack was also shattered. His armor could not withstand the power of the divine sword and was shattered by the sword chi. Many deep sword wounds appeared on his body, and one of them almost cut off his leg. He had no choice but to continue refining the second-grade immortal liquid to recover. Otherwise, he would be in danger of dying. Next year, today will be your death anniversary. The hope of the Yang clan will be killed by me. Xingmin laughed wildly. He continued to attack Yang Wu, not giving Yang Wu the slightest chance. My strength is not as good as his, but I still want to win against him. I don't want to borrow Little Hei's power. My sword will seed has been condensed to the extreme, and I have been unable to evolve it into a sword Dao. Perhaps this is my chance. The time I've spent practicing the sword is too short. In the Wudong Black Tortoise Sword Pool, I have already condensed the sword heart. Now, with the help of the Big Dipper sword, I will definitely condense my sword Dao. Yang Wu activated the Big Dipper sword again and again to block. He thought of the Tai Chi sword Dao. Even though he had only touched the surface, it was extremely exquisite when used for defense. The Tai Chi sword Dao's defensive style and his black tortoise armor's deflecting force had a different approach, but the same effect. It pulled Xingmin's overbearing sword momentum to the side with a force of 4 tails pulling 1,000 jin, reducing the force impact on him. Clang! 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 Yang Wu blocked more than half of Xingmin's sword shadows. Only a small portion landed on Yang Wu's body, taking away pieces of flesh from Yang Wu's body. It was as if he was being executed by 1,000 cuts. It looked extremely cruel. Little Hei, please save young master. Little man cried and begged. Don't be anxious. Little Wu needs this training to help him break through in his sword Dao. Little Hei replied. The others wanted to rush over to help, but unfortunately, seeing a battle of such a level, they were completely unable to intervene with their strength. They could only hope that Yang Wu could survive. Yang Wu's injuries were getting worse. Even though he was constantly recovering, his condition was getting worse. If this continued, he would definitely be killed by Xingmin. I've already taken out my divine weapon, but this kid can still defend for so long. It's really too terrifying. If I don't kill him today, he will definitely become a problem in the future. Xingmin was shocked. Then, he increased his attack. The black fire dragon became even more violent, wanting to kill Yang Wu completely in one fell swoop. At this moment, the sword heart that Yang Wu had condensed suddenly cracked. A black tortoise quietly rushed out. It opened its mouth and breathed in heaven and earth. Tens of thousands of sword chi swept through the sky, destroying heaven and earth. The sword heart was perfect, and the black tortoise sword Tao was forged. This was the sword intent that Yang Wu had condensed for a long time. After resonating with the bloodline power in his body and the Big Dipper sword, it finally formed a sword Tao. Once the sword Tao was formed, the vision was astonishing. Yang Wu transformed into a black tortoise. The power of the Big Dipper sword in his hand was unsealed. He went from defense to counterattack. Destruction of the Star River. It was another destruction of the Star River. Its power was many times stronger than the previous slash. A black tortoise breathed in tens of thousands of sword chi and collided with Xing Min's black dragon fire sword chi. Rumble, rumble. Many sword chi kept intertwining, and a series of explosions sounded, causing a great deal of destruction. If they were fighting on the ground, it was unknown how much ground would be destroyed. Yang Wu was blasted away again, and there were more than 10 sword wounds on his body. Blood splattered, and it was a shocking sight. Even if he had comprehended the sword Tao and unsealed part of the power of the Big Dipper, he still couldn't take down Xing Min. However, this time, he managed to break through Xing Min's defense and left 3 deep sword wounds on his body. It could be said that he had made great progress. I didn't expect you to have comprehended the sword Tao. Your talent is really powerful. Unfortunately, you still have to die today. Xing Min felt the change in Yang Wu and couldn't help but praise him. He was ready to attack Yang Wu again. There are many people who want to kill me, but there are definitely not many who can kill me. You are not one of them. Yang Wu shouted loudly. The third eye on his glabella opened, and a beam of soul light shot toward Xing Min in an instant. Soul eye destruction. The soul eye full of destructive power pierced into Xing Min's soul, wanting to destroy Xing Min's soul. Xing Min's soul was attacked, but he only felt a slight pain. His soul wasn't destroyed. He was half-stepped to heaven ascension, and his soul force was incomparably powerful. Moreover, he was proficient in defensive techniques. Yang Wu's soul I had miscalculated. However, Yang Wu wasn't surprised. He had already taken the opportunity to call back the Spectre Needle. The Spectre Needle stabbed at Xing Min's back. Xing Min suffered a little loss and naturally understood that Yang Wu had soul attack methods. He quickly reacted and condensed a powerful defensive force to protect his head, blocking the Spectre Needle's attack. Hoga was killed by you like this, right? Unfortunately, it was useless. Haha. Xing Min laughed complacently and slashed at Yang Wu with his sword in both hands. Black Dragon tearing the sky. This sword contained a dense sword intent and turned into a black dragon that was 100,000 feet long, tearing the world apart. This move could kill an ordinary Heaven Ascension realm old monster. Yang Wu stared at this sword and gathered all his strength. The Big Dipper sword turned into a black tortoise and collided with the black dragon again. Xing Min's sword was too overbearing. The black tortoise and the black dragon collided, and the black tortoise immediately cracked inch by inch. It was completely unstoppable. Sword Tao isn't omnipotent. Only strength can crush everything. Yang Wu frantically retreated and used all his strength to block this sword. The nether ice winged blade quietly disappeared from his back. When it appeared again, a big good head was cut off. Pooh! Chapter 1195. After the nether ice winged blade received the support of the nether mysterious essence, it was comparable to a top-grade sacred weapon. Its first invisibility ability was still present. When Xing Min was attacking Yang Wu with all his strength, Yang Wu used it to sneak behind Xing Min and slash at him. Yang Wu first met Yang Wu with all his strength, then used his soul eye to interfere with Xing Min. Then, he used the nether ice wing blade to stab him. Finally, he used his nether ice wing blade. Even though Xing Min was half-step into Heaven Ascension, he did not expect Yang Wu to have so many terrifying attacks. In the end, he was killed by Yang Wu. Yang Wu did not have it easy either. He was covered in blood from Xing Min's Black Dragon Divine Sword, and he was almost killed. Fortunately, He had comprehended the black tortoise sword Tao, which greatly increased the power of his sword skills. Only then did he manage to block Xing Min's fatal attacks. Good boy, you finally made a breakthrough in battle. Little He could not help but praise. It rarely praised others. In its opinion, Yang Wu's talent in alchemy was praiseworthy, but his talent in cultivation was not. If he did not have the supreme 9 profound arts, Yang Wu would not have been able to go far. He could not compare to Sun Do, and he could not compare to Lu Ji. Fortunately, Yang Wu did not slack off over the years. He walked step by step with difficulty. This perseverance was also praiseworthy. Now that he had comprehended the black tortoise sword Tao in battle, it was also praiseworthy. There were 3,000 great Taos. Not everyone could comprehend them. Some people had very high realms, but they might not be able to grasp a great Tao. However, some people were weak, but they could comprehend a great Tao. Once they comprehended a great Tao, their future would not be too bad. Now Yang Wu had grasped the surface of the great Tao of life and death, Zhenwu boxing, alchemy, and now the black tortoise or Tao. He had grasped a total of 4 great Taos. In the transcendent world, he was definitely a genius second to none. Young master, white-haired Demonis, little man, Sun Do, and the others quickly rushed to Yang Wu. I'm fine, Yang Wu said with difficulty. He took away all the universal items left behind by Ho Gu and Xing Min. He originally wanted to keep the Black Dragon Divine Sword, but when Xing Min died, it immediately flew away. He had killed the leaders of the 2 clans. If this news was spread back to the world of battle, it would turn the sky upside down. However, he was not afraid. It was the other party who wanted to kill him, and he was only retaliating. If the other party's heavenly Grandmaster Elder attacked, he believed that little He would not watch him die. Yang Wu once again refined the 2nd grade immortal liquid. His injuries recovered at a speed visible to the naked eye. At the same time, he activated 3 star lines to madly absorb the power of the stars. The invisible power of the stars gathered. The Sovereign 9 Mysteries formula showed its crazy side. It absorbed the power of the stars and the surrounding Xian Qi with a terrifying, devouring power. The Earth's sea, which was about to dry up, was quickly replenished. After the Sovereign 9 Mysteries formula integrated 5 kinds of Xian Yuan Qi, its explosive power became more and more obvious. The speed of devouring the power of the stars was more than 1,000 times faster than the other Saint arts. Even the divine arts could only be 100 times faster than the Saint arts. This also meant that the magic of the Sovereign 9 Mysteries formula was not comparable to the divine arts. If he could completely integrate the 9 kinds of Xian Yuan Qi, it would produce an earth-shattering, devouring power. Yang Wu's state quickly recovered. He hesitated whether to return to the world of battle again and find trouble with the 2 clans. At this time, a figure swept out from the direction of the world of battle. When Yang Wu saw the person, his killing intent instantly rose. He recognized that the person was Ho Yudai of the Ho family. Her beauty was enough to make people remember deeply in their hearts. He didn't understand why the other party wanted to kill him. You still dare to come? When Yang Wu saw the person, he shouted with a murderous aura. Although Ho Yudai was a peerless beauty, Yang Wu didn't care. He had many beautiful women around him. Facing a beautiful enemy, he could also ruthlessly kill her. In a magical fantasy territory, he experienced many illusions and tasted all kinds of things in the world. His mind was incomparably firm. It was not easy for external things to shake his heart. Ho Yudai bowed deeply to Yang Wu and said, "I'm sorry, I implicated you." Yang Wu was slightly stunned and shouted, "What do you mean? Didn't you send that person?" "He is my uncle, but I definitely didn't send him," Ho Yudai said seriously. "Now you still want to quibble?" Yang Wu shouted and rushed towards Ho Yudai. He blasted out a shocking palm at her. The palm power was turbulent, and in the blink of an eye, it was in front of Ho Yudai. She didn't move, just closed her eyes, and didn't let Yang Wu do anything. Yang Wu controlled the palm power in time. The strong wind made Ho Yudai's hair flutter and her cheeks hurt, but she didn't even frown. "You really didn't send him?" Yang Wu frowned and asked, "No." Ho Yu Dai denied again. "Humph, then why did he kill me?" Yang Wu coldly snorted. "Can we talk in private?" Ho Yu Dai asked back. Yang Wu hesitated. He couldn't figure out what trick this woman was playing. "Could it be that you're afraid of a woman like me?" Ho Yu Dai provoked. "Let's go." Yang Wu simply replied. Thus, the two of them descended to the ground. The others consciously retreated. White-haired Demonis looked at Ho Yu Dai from afar and said with dissatisfaction, "This woman is not a good person." "Big Sister Yinshi, are you sure?" Little man asked. "Beautiful women don't have many good people." "Big Sister Yinshi, you are very beautiful. I think you're very good. Being good to your own people may not be good to outsiders. My name is Ho Yu Dai. I come from the Ho clan. The person you killed is my uncle. He thought we had an affair, so he wanted to kill you." Ho Yu Dai explained with a complicated expression. "We had an affair? What kind of joke is this?" Yang Wu felt that it was ridiculous. "I already explained, but he didn't believe me." Ho Yu Dai replied, "Just based on a guess, he wants to kill me. What a joke. No one wants to be a good person. It's not easy to be a good person. There is always danger. I don't know what to say. In short, I have wronged you. What compensation do you want? As long as I can do it, I will definitely give it to you, including the last time you saved my life. I still haven't had time to repay you. Is there really any kind of repayment?" Yang Wu looked at Ho Yu Dai and raised his eyebrows as he asked. Ho Yu Dai nodded and said, "As long as I can do it, you can ask for anything." "Good, I want you." Yang Wu walked closer to Ho Yu Dai and said, "Didn't he suspect us of having an affair? Then I will do it for him." Ho Yu Dai took a step back and said with a trace of fear, "Yuhaha, it seems like you aren't afraid. Don't make any promises. In the future, don't let your clansmen find trouble with me. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing them all." Yang Wu gave a long laugh and turned to leave. He was just scaring Ho Yu Dai. He didn't believe Ho Yu Dai's explanation, but he didn't want to bother with what Ho Yu Dai wanted. In short, he had already warned her. If she didn't know what was good for her, then don't blame him for being impolite. The Ho family was a huge monster. If he could avoid offending them, then he wouldn't be afraid. "You wait. You killed my uncle. My family will definitely know. They definitely won't let you go." Ho Yu Dai cried out. "Didn't you hear what I just said?" Yang Wu angrily said. Ho Yu Dai bit her lips and said, "Do you know why my uncle suspected us of having an affair and wanted to kill you? Of course, it's because of your noble status." Yang Wu replied. She shook her head and said, "No, it's because he likes me. So he doesn't want me to have any indecent things with anyone." "Your uncle likes you?" Yang Wu said with a bit of surprise. It wasn't a big deal for large clans to marry with the same bloodline. As long as 3 generations passed, it would be fine. The Yang family was the same. In his opinion, Ho Gu and Ho Yu Dai should be separated by 3 generations. Ho Yu Dai revealed a trace of difficulty as she said, "He is my blood-related uncle. He isn't an uncle from another generation. Our bloodline is very close. It's not just him. Everyone in the Ho family is crazy. Even the closest people can get married. It's simply disgusting to the extreme. The things they do are completely unreasonable." Yang Wu was stunned after hearing this. The Ho family actually married someone close to them. Wasn't that incest? This was something that went against the heavenly Tao. Are you surprised? In order to maintain the purity of our bloodline, our Ho family doesn't care about the eyes of the world. As long as we continue the strongest bloodline, even if it's a father and daughter marriage or a brother and sister marriage, we can still do such things. I've had enough. I've had enough. Ho Yu Dai got more and more agitated as she spoke. Her body kept trembling as her breathing became chaotic. Her body suddenly leaned to the side. Yang Wu saw that Ho Yu Dai had fainted, but he didn't help her. He was on guard against her. Who knew if she would suddenly make things difficult for him? He could see that she had the strength of the Star Rune realm. How could she fall just like that? However, when Ho Yu Dai fell to the ground, he felt that she wasn't faking it. He walked over and locked his aura on her to prevent her from playing tricks. When he checked her breathing, he found that her breathing was very chaotic and weak. It didn't seem like she was faking it at all. To save or not to save? Yang Wu asked himself in his mind. When he saw the tears at the corner of her eyes, his heart softened. He carried her on his shoulder and left with her. When everyone saw that Yang Wu carried Hou Yudai back, they were all shocked. Sun Do asked directly, "Big brother, are you going to capture her and make her sister-in-law? Capture her and make her your woman. Do you like it?" Yang Wu asked back, "Haha, forget it. I will personally carry my woman back. I don't need Big Brother to do it for me." Sun Do laughed. "Let's go to War God City first." Yang Wu didn't argue with Sun Do. He sat on the silver-patterned tortoise and brought him and Hou Yudai towards War God City. The others didn't ask much about what happened between Yang Wu and Hou Yudai. He would definitely say it. He definitely had his reasons for not saying it. Chapter 1196. World of Battles. The Xing family and the Hou family both receive the news. Xing Min, who was half a step into the heavenly arrival realm of the Xing family, had died. Hou Ji's leader had also died. The life jade tubes they had left in the world of battles had all been broken. How did Xing Min die? An old man asked as he stared at the black dragon divine sword in a cave residence in the Xing family's cultivation area. The black dragon divine sword turned into a black dragon spirit and replied, "He was killed by Yang Wu of the Yang family. Xing Min took you out and was killed by Yang Wu. How is that possible?" The old man exclaimed. "That's the truth. How did he kill Xing Min? Quickly show it to me." The black dragon divine sword reflected the battle between Xing Min and Yang Wu. The old man watched it carefully and then sighed. "What a powerful boy. If he's allowed to advance further, I'm afraid even a heavenly arrival realm cultivator can't do anything to him. We must inform the family and send someone to kill him as soon as possible." In the Hou family's territory, Hou Ji's death didn't cause too much of a stir. Only a strong half a step into the heavenly arrival realm cultivator gave the order to bring Hou Yudai back. He didn't care about Hou Ji's death at all. For the Hou family, Hou Ji's strength wasn't bad, but it wouldn't affect them much without him. What the Hou family needed was a heavenly arrival realm cultivator and someone whose bloodline had reached ancestral awakening. Hou Yudi's bloodline was very strong, but unfortunately, she had a big flaw. After she solved this flaw, she would definitely marry the strongest person in the family. No matter if it was a close relative or a distant relative, fate couldn't be changed. God of War City. This was an ancient and dilapidated city. There were dragons and snakes mixed together here. There were people from the 8 great war clans and other outsiders. They stayed here for 2 reasons. On the one hand, they wanted to enter the world of battles to kill the devil race. On the other hand, they wanted to compete with the ominous beasts in this barren land and find more heaven and earth spiritual treasures. They also hoped to activate the God of War Pagoda and obtain the inheritance of the God of War Pagoda. That was the supreme divine tower, suppressing the 2 worlds with infinite power. It was also the most important thing that the Devil Clan could not break through the world of battles. Unfortunately, only members of the battle race could enter the God of War Pagoda. It only opened once every 10 years. It had only been 4 years since the last time it opened. The next time it opened would be 6 years later. After Yang Wu's group arrived at War God City, they found an inn to stay for the time being. Yang Wu brought Hou Yudai into his room, not caring about what the people around him thought. The white-haired demoness said with some bitterness, "My lord, if you really want it, I can do it too." "What do you want?" Yang Wu turned around and asked white-haired demoness. White-haired demoness' face flushed red as she said, "I want to make love." Yang Wu laughed and lightly scratched her nose. "What are you thinking?" She suddenly fainted. "I just want to figure out what happened. I'm not a casual person." White-haired demoness was embarrassed and left as if she was escaping. Yinchi isn't any worse than her. If I really wanted to do it, I wouldn't choose a strange woman, Yang Wu muttered as he entered the room and closed the door. He threw Hou Yudai on the bed and said, "No need to pretend anymore. Otherwise, I'll strip you naked and do it." Yang Wu's actions were extremely rough. He had no tender feelings for the fair sex. Hou Yudai cooperated and opened her beautiful eyes. She said softly, "If you have the ability, then do it." After saying this, she licked her jade lips. Her seductive appearance was extremely moving. On the way here, Yang Wu had carried such a peerless beauty. The blood in his body had long been boiling. She was still so provocative. If it were any other man, they wouldn't be able to stand it. Yang Wu walked to the bed and reached out to grab Ho Yudi's clothes. Hiss! A sound of clothes tearing was heard, and a smooth shoulder was exposed. Yang Wu's eyes were filled with hostility as he said, "Do you really think I don't dare to do anything to you?" He had just come out of the battle world, and his body was stained with a lot of demonic qi. Even if the demonic qi had been purified, there was still a trace of hidden negative emotions that affected his words and actions. Or perhaps it was the evil side of him that had erupted under Ho Yudi's provocation. "I'm a younger sister of the Ho family's patriarch. Our family's rule is that we can never marry someone with a different surname. If you're not afraid of being hunted down by our family, then come." Ho Yudi's beautiful eyes met Yang Wu's gaze, full of provocation as she responded. She had long wanted to get rid of the shackles in her heart. Now that the opportunity was in front of her, she had a crazy idea in her heart. She wanted to do something she had always wanted to do. Is being the younger sister of the Ho family's patriarch that great? Yang Wu asked back. He leaned over and kissed Ho Yudai. Her cold jade lips exuded the fragrance of a virgin. Ho Yudi's body stiffened slightly. Then she hooked her hands around Yang Wu's neck and responded enthusiastically. Her kiss was very clumsy. Her pearly white teeth knocked against his jade lips, but she still didn't care. Her jade tongue seemed to be self-taught as it directly barged into the boiling hot space, teasing him repeatedly. Decadent sounds filled the air. At the critical moment, Yang Wu pushed the woman away and scolded, "Crazy woman." Ho Yudi's cheeks were red. She wiped away her intoxicated eyes and said with a pitiful look, "Yes, I am a crazy woman. Do you dare to take me?" After that, she directly tore off all the clothes on her body, revealing her perfect body. Yang Wu was at an age where he was full of vigor and was inexperienced in the ways of the world. How could he suppress the lust in his heart? He reached out to grab Ho Yudi's ample bosom and shouted, "Do you think I dare? Ah, you don't dare. Don't regret it." Dry firewood ignited with a touch. There was no suspense. Waves of erotic sounds rang out. Each wave was louder than the previous. The sound seemed to break through the roof and shake the 9 heavens, letting the world know. Fortunately, the saint energy isolated these sounds. Otherwise, anyone in the restaurant would be able to hear the release of these decadent sounds. After an unknown amount of time, the sounds slowly stopped. The room was in a mess. It could be seen how intense the battle just now was. On the bed, the man sat leaning against the bed frame. The woman was lying in the man's arms. Her face was flushed for a long time. The satisfied smile on her face had a bit of a morbid look. "You're really bold. Do you know that from now on, you will face the pursuit of my family? Ha. A woman like you is not afraid. What do I have to be afraid of? If you really dare to come, don't blame me for being ruthless. You have a bit of courage. No wonder even my uncle died in your hands. Unfortunately, he is just a dispensable person in my family. A perverted family. What I have to be afraid of? Besides, do you have the heart to let me die? I don't have the heart. Why don't you take me far away and find a place isolated from the world? I'll give birth to a bunch of monkeys for you. You think too much. My lover is not you. I'm not beautiful enough. Not bad. Not worth you abandoning other women. We're just taking what we need. From now on, you and I will go our separate ways. You heartless man, get out of my way." In the end, the man did not leave. It was the woman who left first. No matter how shameless a woman was, under certain circumstances, she still had some sense of shame. "I hate you." The woman flew to the roof opposite. After letting out a long cry, she disappeared from the restaurant. Yang Wu put on his clothes and walked out of the door. Looking at the woman who was already far away, he could not help but sigh. Let's just treat it as a crazy dream. White-haired Demonis quietly appeared beside Yang Wu and said indifferently, "My lord, why would you rather have her and not me? Could it be that I'm inferior to her?" Yang Wu laughed bitterly and patted her shoulder. "Don't think too much. This is just a misunderstanding." Originally, Yang Wu wanted to check on Ho Yudai's situation. She clearly had the strength of the Star Rune realm, so how could she fall just like that? In the end, he did not understand the important matter and did such a ridiculous thing. He secretly blamed himself for being too weak. However, If he could turn back time, he would still push that woman down. A woman who dared to ride on his body, no matter which man it was, would want to conquer her. Yang Wu did not continue to think about Hou Yu Dai. The people of the Hou family were strange and perverted. He was not sure she was like that. This time, he would just treat it as a meeting. In the future, they would probably not meet again. Next, he should set off for the Sacred Transformation Pool. The Sacred Transformation Pool was located in the Central Plains and was personally controlled by the Shaolin Temple. It was a place that was sealed by the joint efforts of the various large powers. Normally, no one was allowed to open the Sacred Transformation Pool. Only the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking and Heavenly Phoenix ranking every 50 years had the qualifications to enter. At that time, many Heavenly Dragon ranking and Heavenly Phoenix ranking would work together to open the Sacred Transformation Pool for the geniuses to enter and find an opportunity to break through to the Star Rune realm. Those who obtained the Sacred Transformation Pool had a 90% chance of entering the Star Rune realm. There was only a 10% chance of failure. Now, Yang Wu had already entered the Star Rune realm in advance, but the little man, Sun Do, Yang Ba, and Su Chu had not yet taken this step. He still had to make a trip to the Sacred Transformation Pool. Moreover, even if Yang Wu entered the Star Rune realm, it did not mean that he did not need to enter the Sacred Transformation Pool. Perhaps the Sacred Transformation Pool could help him reach a higher level. Yang Wu said he would leave and did not want to delay any longer. Even if he wanted to summon Lei Zhongjuan, he had to put this matter aside. A few years ago, Yang Wu set Lei Zhongjuan free in the War God City. He hoped that he could use his identity as a ghost race member to make a name for himself in the ghost race and make some preparations for his return to the Purple Heaven Palace in the future. But now, he did not know how he was doing. He was also wondering if Lei Zhongjuan had a change of heart and had forgotten about him as Lord. First, I'll go to the Sacred Transformation Pool, then to the Alchemist Alliance to fight for a branch altar for the family, and then to the Purple Heaven sect. Yang Wu made his plan in his heart. Chapter 1197. The Sacred Transformation Pool was located in the Central Plains, close to the Shaolin Temple of Mount Song. Naturally, it was also close to the Mount Song Sword sect of the Five Mountains sect. This was a land of outstanding talents and a vast domain where the dragon veins gathered. Countless people in the world came from Shaolin. Shaolin and Wudong were both the leading forces of the transcendent world. It could be seen how powerful the Shaolin Temple was. The Shaolin Temple did not enter the mortal world and did not get involved in karma. They were the most impartial and popular. With them in charge of the Sacred Transformation Pool, all the forces were at ease. After the Dragon Phoenix Abyss ended, all the geniuses had rested for a year. The top 100 geniuses of the Heavenly Dragon and Heavenly Phoenix rankings had already rushed to the Sacred Transformation Pool. Everyone would arrive at the designated place in advance and would not be late. Once they missed the opening time of the Sacred Transformation Pool, they would lose the opportunity to enter. Yang Wu and his group rushed from War God City without stopping. Many times, they directly used the Black Tortoise battleship to travel. Yang Wu was not only a top Saint alchemist, but he had also reached the Star Rune realm. He was no longer the small martial artist from before. He had enough Saint stones to drive the battleship. This was a Saint-level battleship, and its flying speed was not inferior to that of Saint. When they arrived at the Sacred Transformation Mountain, there was still half a month before the opening of the Sacred Transformation Pool. Originally, they thought that they had arrived early, but who knew that when they arrived, they would find that there were already many people there. The Heavenly Dragon and Heavenly Phoenix rankings had 100 people each, but there were more than 200 people in front of them. There were at least 1,000 people, other than the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon and Heavenly Phoenix rankings. The rest were their followers or their protectors. They were all here to join in the fun. When Yang Wu and his group appeared, they became the focus of everyone. The invincible Emperor, Yang Wu, is here. It's really Yang Wu. It's only been a year since we last met, but I feel that his aura is even stronger than before. That's true. As expected of the invincible Emperor, the pride of our human race feels far inferior in front of him. After entering the Sacred Transformation Pool, I will definitely become a saint. I will surpass him. Many geniuses had their own ambitions, but they all expressed their admiration for Yang Wu. At the same time, they were unwilling to accept the current situation. There was still a long way to go in the future, and it was still too early to say who would become the ultimate overlord. After all, the path of martial arts was long and arduous. Fighting against the heavens was not something that could be suppressed by talent alone. Many times, one had to rely on luck. Before Yang Wu's black tortoise battleship landed, several figures flew towards the battleship. Yu Yu, Meng Bingxue, and Shu Yujun were all there. After not seeing them for a year, they had become even more beautiful and charming, and their temperaments had improved by another level. Husband, Purple Yu Yu rode on Qilin and took the lead to approach Yang Wu. Meng Bingxue and Shu Yujun were half a step behind her. They didn't want to compete with her. Ziyu Yu and Yang Wu had already bowed to the heavens and earth, so she was the rightful empress of the palace. Marshal, Meng Bingxue and Shu Yujun said at the same time. These three women had outstanding looks and extraordinary temperaments. No matter who married one of them, it would be a blessing of 3 lifetimes. Moreover, the three of them liked Yang Wu at the same time and were willing to accept Yang Wu's womanizing. Yang Wu was really lucky. Others couldn't help but be jealous of him. You guys came so early. Yang Wu was also very happy to see them. He said with a big smile, for such an important matter, we naturally had to come early. Purple Yu Yu stepped forward and held Yang Wu's hand gently. Meng Bingxue didn't dare to be so bold, so she was a bit embarrassed. Shu Yujun, on the other hand, walked over gracefully and leaned against Yang Wu. If there weren't so many people here, Shu Yujun definitely wouldn't give face to Ziyu Yu and directly held onto Yang Wu's arm. Marshal your strength. After Shu Yujun leaned against Yang Wu, she faintly felt the aura on Yang Wu's body. She couldn't help but cry out in surprise. Yang Wu raised a finger to his lips and said, "Shh, don't make a sound." In the next moment, Yang Wu completely retracted his aura. When they looked at him again, they couldn't sense any martial aura from him. You really reached that step. You're too powerful, Shu Yujun said with incomparable excitement. There was a huge divide between the Dragon Transformation Realm and the Star Mark Realm. It was unknown how many Dragon Transformation Realm martial artists were stuck at this step, unable to break through for their entire lives. Yang Wu had just come out of the Dragon Phoenix Abyss for a year and had already broken through to that step. He hadn't even entered the Dragon Transformation pool yet. This talent was too abnormal. Ziyu Yu and Meng Bingxue both noticed Yang Wu's abnormality. Their beautiful eyes rippled with an indescribable radiance. This time, after entering the Saint Transformation pool, you all will also break through, Yang Wu said and gave each of them a bottle of immortal liquid. He definitely wouldn't be stingy towards his own women. If he wasn't afraid of exposing the immortal liquid too early, he would have given each of them a drop to help them grow quickly. He decided to wait until the end of the Saint Transformation pool and give each of them a drop of immortal liquid in case of emergencies. The three women didn't reject Yang Wu's gift. It was their man's gift, so it was only right for them to take it. However, there were some people who couldn't stand Yang Wu's behavior. Being surrounded by 3 peerless beauties, there were bound to be extremely jealous people who came out to cause trouble. Junior sister Shu, how can you leave the team without permission? Come back. A stern voice resounded with dissatisfaction. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice. It was a man with a pointy monkey face. He was staring at Shu Yujun and speaking. He was Huang Yinbian, a disciple from the 5 mountain sects Mount Tai. He was a little hay horse. Zhua Shihan, the peerless genius of the 5 mountain sects' younger generation, had died in the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. The others had participated in the process of killing Yang Wu and were slaughtered by Yang Wu. There weren't many disciples left. Huang Yinbian was one of them. At first, he wasn't dazzling. However, after obtaining some dragon and phoenix items in the Dragon Phoenix Abyss, he was lucky enough to reach the bottom of the Heavenly Dragon list. He was the only disciple in the 5 mountain sect who could enter the Dragon Phoenix list other than Shu Yujun. In the past year, Huang Yinbian's strength had improved greatly. He had reached the half-step saint realm. Even in front of Yang Wu, he had enough confidence. Shu Yujun completely ignored Huang Yinbian and continued to stay beside Yang Wu and talk. Huang Yinbian couldn't stand it. He had already spoken, but Shu Yujun didn't give him any face. She didn't take him seriously. He rushed forward and shouted, "Shu Yujun," as a disciple of the Five Mountains sect, instead of his woman circling around Yang Wu. "Don't you have any dignity? Get back here. Have you taken the wrong medicine?" Shu Yujun looked sideways at Huang Yinbian and replied, unhappily, "Shu Yujun, you can't embarrass the Five Mountains sect. Otherwise, I don't mind teaching you a lesson with the sect rules." Huang Yinbian said arrogantly. He released the strength of the half-step saint realm. The yellow power condensed all over his body. It was extremely rich and powerful. Before Shu Yujun could say anything, Sun Do stood up and shouted, "Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to my sister-in-law?" After Sun Do awakened the power of his bloodline, his temper became more irritable day by day. However, his strength also became stronger day by day. Shu Yujun wanted to stop Sun Do, but Yang Wu pulled Shu Yujun and said, "You don't have to worry about it. Let Skinny Monkey handle it." Huang Yinbian glanced at Sun Do and said disapprovingly, "The matters of the Five Mountains sect are not for outsiders to meddle in. If you know what's good for you, hurry up and get lost." With his current strength, he wasn't afraid even if he encountered a second-level Starline Realm cultivator. Why would he be afraid of Sun Do? Because you represent the Five Mountains sect? Sun Do said disdainfully, "I represent the Five Mountains sect here." Huang Yinbian puffed out his chest and said. Then he said, "Shu Yujun, if you don't come back in 3 breaths, you'll have to bear the consequences." Conceited my ass. Sun Do went berserk. He cursed and turned into an afterimage that swept towards Huang Yinbian. He raised his hand and slapped Huang Yinbian fiercely. Huang Yinbian only saw a blur before his face was ruthlessly slapped. Slap! Huang Yinbian was directly stunned by the slap. However, there was still a storm to come. Who do you think you are to yell in front of my sister-in-law? Do you think you're so great just because you've reached the half-saint realm? Even if you become a saint, I'll still kill you like a chicken or a dog. I really don't know where your pride comes from. Get lost. Sun Do beat Huang Yinbian until even his mother couldn't recognize him. When the other geniuses saw this scene, their eyes kept twitching. Huang Yinbian had reached the half-saint realm. He might not be the strongest, but he had already stepped into the saint realm before them. After entering the saint transformation pool, he would definitely reach the Starline realm. This was also the reason why he was so arrogant. However, he was still beaten to the point where he couldn't fight back. This shocked them. However, they also recognized Sun Do's identity. He was a monster in the top 10 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking. It wasn't difficult for him to beat Huang Yinbian up. "Stop!" A protector of the Taishan sect rushed over and shouted. This was a true star engraving realm expert. Majestic holy chi swept towards Sun Doshi as a Saint Palm slapped towards Sun Doshi. This wasn't a level 1 Starline Realm Saint, but a level 3 Starline Realm Saint. He could crush most of the geniuses present. The protector made it clear that he wanted to punish Sun Do severely. He didn't give Sun Do a chance to escape. Sun Do reacted quickly. He grabbed Huang Yinbian in his hand and used him as a shield to meet the Taishan sect protector's palm force. The Taishan sect protector was so frightened that his palm force changed direction and slapped toward the sky, causing the space to tremble and crack. "Let him go." The Taishan sect protector shouted with Saint Chi. "You still want to use your power to oppress others. Believe it or not, I'll kill him now." Sun Do wasn't someone who would show weakness easily. "Skinny Monkey, let him go," Yang Wu said. "I'll listen to you, big brother." Sun Do responded obediently and threw Huang Yinbian out like a dead dog. Huang Yinbian had just escaped death. He revealed a ferocious expression and shouted, "Protector, kill him for me." The Taishan sect protector didn't want to let Sun Do go. He attacked Sun Do again. Die! Chapter 1198. The protector of the Taishan sect attacked with all his strength. Even a level 4 Celestial Mark expert would be seriously injured if caught off guard. I've been guarding against you for a long time. Sun Do wasn't a fool. He had been paying attention to the Protector's movements. When the other party attacked, he also counterattacked. He pulled out his broken staff and attacked with all his strength. Bang! The palm and staff collided, and a dull sound rang out. A figure was sent flying. It was Sun Do. "Ha! You want to kill me with this little strength? You're overestimating yourself." Sun Do laughed wildly. The next moment, he shouted, "Take my staff too." In the next moment, Sun Do's body enlarged as if he had turned into a demon monkey. Waves of golden flames surged out from his body. The staff light struck towards the Protector with golden flames. When the staff fell, golden flames rippled in all directions. The firepower was fierce, and the power was torrential. Sun Do had also reached the half-saint realm. After using all his strength, he was no weaker than a level 3 celestial mark expert. The Taishan sect Protector's eyelids twitched as he continuously sent out palm strikes. When he felt the power of Sun Do's staff, he exclaimed in his heart, "Why is this kid so strong?" The Taishan sect's Protector didn't dare to hold back at all. He attacked crazily, sending out palm strikes after palm strikes. He was determined to suppress Sun Do. However, Sun Do's combat strength wasn't weaker than his. Each staff strike was stronger than the previous one. Moreover, the golden flame true fire had reached the level of sacred fire. The Taishan sect Protector didn't dare to touch it at all. The two of them were evenly matched, causing the surrounding geniuses to be shocked. This Sun Do is too powerful. He can actually fight against a true saint. Yeah, as expected of one of the top 10 seeded contestants. He can transform into a demon. His body contains the bloodline of the demon race. Can he still enter our human race's saint transformation pool? There are many people who can refine the bloodline of other races. It's their ability to refine it successfully. If you have the ability, why don't you try refining it? Such a talent is willing to submit to Yang Wu. It can be seen how charming Yang Wu is. That Huang Yinbian is really courting death. "Marshal, let Sun Do come back. Don't let him suffer," Shu Yujun said with a trace of worry. "Don't be afraid. He's not strong enough to make skinny monkey suffer." Yang Wu laughed. Sure enough, as soon as he finished speaking, the skinny monkey unleashed the power of his innate talent. His fiery golden eyes shot out 2 beams of golden flames. The Protector of the Mount Tai sect couldn't dodge in time and was hit directly. The golden flames burned his body, causing him to scream in pain. Get out of my way." The Protector of the Mount Tai sect used all of his holy power to expel Sun Do's flames with great difficulty. However, his holy body was charred. Again, Sun Do became more and more courageous as he fought. He raised his broken staff and charged over again. "Stop, we admit defeat. We won't fight anymore." The Taishan sect Protector was afraid. He quickly retreated and admitted defeat. Although it was embarrassing, it was better than losing his life. Even if he still had a trump card that he hadn't used, it didn't mean that the other party didn't have other trump cards. Sun Do didn't push his luck and coldly said, "Teach your disciples well. Don't bark like mad dogs." After he finished speaking, he turned around and returned to Yang Wu's side. He seemed to be asking for credit. "Big brother, what do you think of my fight? Isn't it awesome?" Yang Wu rolled his eyes and said, "Is this something you should be proud of? You could be even stronger." "Yes, I think so too." Sun Do humbly accepted. When the other geniuses heard their conversation, they were all shocked. If this wasn't strong enough, then what would be considered strong? Were they not giving others a way out? Yang Wu's group found a place to land. Many people came up to greet them enthusiastically. There were many people here who had once followed Yang Wu and had also been defeated by him. They could be considered to have a good relationship with Yang Wu. There were also some geniuses who didn't pay attention to Yang Wu's group. For example, the Longevity Hall's first and first Hall King, the Purple Firmament Hall's Lei Bei Bei, the King of Hell's Palace's son, and the Xing family's people. These people didn't want to complicate matters before the Saint Transformation Pond opened. All of them had to break through to the Star Rune realm in the Saint Transformation Pond. Only by taking that step as soon as possible could they widen the gap between them and the other geniuses. All of a sudden, A flying shuttle tore through space and arrived at a high speed. Flying shuttles were of a higher grade than ordinary warships and war chariots. They were at least at the same grade. Those who could use flying shuttles were all rich and overbearing. Sure enough, the people who came down from the flying shuttle were from the Xianyuan family. The Xianyuan family's third princess, seventh princess, and a few other geniuses had entered the top 100. When the flying shuttle landed, another flying shuttle appeared. Similarly, a peerless beauty walked out. It was Chao Jifei from the Apothecary Alliance. "Little sister Jifei, you came so quickly." The Xianyuan family's third princess greeted Chao Jifei with a smile. "Big sister, you must be joking. This place isn't far from our alliance. Knowing that big sister has come, I naturally can't be negligent," Chao Jifei replied. Then, she looked at Xianyuan Huowu and said, "Little sister Huowu, I haven't seen you for a year. Your progress is really fast." Xianyuan Huowu revealed a charming smile and said, "It's all right. However, I might not be as good as a certain fellow." After saying that, she looked at Yang Wu, who was not far away. Chao Jifei followed Xianyuan Huowu's gaze, and a complicated look flashed across her beautiful eyes. Another person jumped out beside her and exclaimed, "Boss, your most handsome little brother is here." Without waiting for that person to rush towards Yang Wu, Chao Jifei gave him a fierce kick and kicked him in the direction of Yang Wu. Ouch! That person lost his balance and crashed towards Yang Wu in an extremely comical manner. Seeing that he was about to land in front of Yang Wu stretched out his hand and gently supported that person, allowing him to land gently. "Evil eldest senior sister," that person shouted in dissatisfaction as soon as he landed. "Meow meow. Say that again if you have the guts." Chao Jifei shouted condescendingly. Meow meow hurriedly laughed and said, "Huh. Eldest senior sister is joking. Thank you, eldest senior sister, for sending me to see boss. I'm really happy." After hearing Meow Meow's words, everyone couldn't help but look at him with disdain. This guy was too cowardly. "Meow Meow, why are you here?" Yang Wu asked as he held Meow Meow's shoulder. Yang Wu and Meow Meow hadn't known each other for a long time. However, it felt as if they had known each other for 1,000 years. He treated Meow Meow as his good brother. "I knew boss would come. Of course, I had to come," Meow Meow said with a smile. "Just because of this?" Yang Wu asked. "Haha, of course not. I also want to enter the Evolving Saint Pond." Meow Meow laughed happily. I remember that you didn't enter the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon leaderboard, right? Who said that you have to enter the top 100 to enter? Could it be that you can follow the unspoken rules?" "Hee boss, you're right. The old ancestor gave me a spot." "All right. It's different when you're rich. Normally, only the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon leaderboard and Heavenly Phoenix leaderboard could enter the Evolving Saint Pond. However, for people of a higher level, as long as they paid a sufficient price, they could also obtain a spot for their juniors. For example, Meow Meow was only at the intermediate dragon transformation realm. How could he qualify to enter the Evolving Saint Pond? However, Meow Meowchi paid a sufficient price for Meow Meow to obtain a spot. Meow Meow was originally a pharmacist. It wasn't easy for him to break through quickly. For him to be able to reach where he was today, Meow Meowchi had really invested a lot in him. Even if Meow Meow only had an ordinary cultivation talent, he could still be pushed to a very high level. Yang Wu couldn't help but sigh at the strength of these pharmacists. He muttered in his heart, "With my current strength, I wonder if I can become a pharmacist?" If he could become a pharmacist, he would have unparalleled influence in the entire transcendent realm. Even if the Xing clan wanted to deal with him, they would have to think twice before doing so. Yang Wu only dared to think about it. Once he refined a divine pill with his current strength, how could he withstand the divine lightning? Perhaps he would consider this question after reaching the intermediate or advanced Star Rune realm. After another 2 days, the 7 heroes of Wu Dang also arrived. They all had the qualifications to enter the Evolving Saint Pond. After arriving, they immediately met up with Yang Wu. As the opening time of the Evolving Saint Pond approached, all the prodigies finally arrived. The Great and Great Hall Kings, Yama's son, Jiang Ping, Jin Xiao, Mingzi, and the rest of the prodigies were all present. Yang Wu could faintly sense that some of them had already broken through to the Star Rune realm. I can't underestimate these prodigies, Yang Wu thought in his heart. When he saw Mingzi, a thick killing intent flashed across his eyes. He wanted nothing more than to kill Mingzi. However, Mingzi was protected by a powerful Saint Realm expert. Moreover, there was an unwritten rule that no one was allowed to kill in front of the evolving Saint Pond. Otherwise, they would be disqualified from entering the evolving Saint Pond. Mingzi also noticed Yang Wu's gaze. He also looked at Yang Wu with a cold smile on his face. It was as if he was going to confront Yang Wu head-on. Yang Wu, you won't live for long, Mingzi silently said in his heart. On the other side, Chao Jifei and Xinyuan Huwu were troubled by a pair of brothers. They were also prodigies from Kunlun. Their names were Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao, also known as the Chun and Hao twin dragons. Although they were not as famous as Mingzi, they were still able to enter the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon ranking. Jin Yuchen and Jin Yuhao were known as the Golden Boys. It was enough to show that their talents were not much inferior to Mingzi. Jin Yuchen pursued Chao Jifei, while Jin Yuhao pursued Xinyuan Huwu. These two brothers' standards were really high. It's not a problem if you want to pursue me. When you defeat Yang Wu, I'll give you a chance. Chao Jifei was annoyed beyond words. She had no choice but to set a goal for Jin Yuchen. Xinyuan Huwu also smiled and said to Jin Yuhao, the person I like is Yang Wu. If you can defeat him, I can consider becoming your woman. Yang Wu was completely unaware that two more enemies had appeared. Chapter 1199. The sacred transformation pool was finally about to open. Several figures walked out of the space. The most attractive one was an old monk wearing monk robes and holding a golden staff. His long eyebrows drooped as he walked over with his palms clasped together. Every step he took contained an indescribable power. In the blink of an eye, he appeared at the peak of the sacred transformation mountain. There was also a middle-aged man wearing a blue robe. His black hair was like a waterfall, and his eyes were filled with traces of light. He looked down at the geniuses below with a disdainful gaze. There was also a white-haired youth. He walked in the air, looking confident and at ease, as if he had merged with the world. There was not the slightest bit of the spirit of a martial artist from his body. Instead, he looked like the boy next door, making people feel close to him. There was a middle-aged woman who came on a sword. Her aura was incomparably sharp, as if she was an unsheathed, heartless sword. Whoever provoked her would be killed by her sword. Beside her was a young girl. That young girl looked elegant and refined, and her face also carried a ruthless aura. It's her, Yang Wu said in shock when he saw the young girl beside the middle-aged woman. That young girl was Tang Xiaohan. When Yang Wu went to the Dragon Phoenix Abyss, they had a conflict with the disciples of the Amaze sect and even took away their Heavenly Phoenix Jade Plate. Tang Xiaohan's heart had already been broken by him. He thought that they would never see each other again in this life, but he didn't expect to see her again here. Other than recognizing Tang Xiaohan, Yang Wu also recognized the white-haired youth. He was the supreme protector of the Wudong Mountain, and the other party had also brought Lu Ji over. Ba, the sacred transformation pool that opens once every 50 years, is about to open again. Are all of you young benefactors ready? The old monk said with a Buddhist voice. This voice seemed to strike the hearts of many geniuses, forcing them to consciously put their palms together and reveal a solemn expression. Old monk, stop dawdling. Open it for these children. The white-haired youth said with a smile. The blue-robed middle-aged man said, you are all ranked in the top 100 of the Dragon Phoenix list and have the qualifications to enter the sacred transformation pool. How long you can withstand the power of the sacred transformation pool will depend on your luck. The longer you can endure, the more you will reap. Remember not to be greedy. The old monk said, as long as you can't hold on any longer, crush this jade tube, and you'll be transported out. After he finished speaking, he threw the jade tubes at the sky prides below. The geniuses put away their jade tubes and bowed deeply to the heaven-reaching old monsters above them. You're all pillars of the humankind. In the future, if any of you becomes an overlord, remember to protect our humankind. Never let the non-humankind bully us. The Sacred Transformation Pond is a place to nurture the strongest overlords. It is a place created by the cooperation of various powers. You only have one chance to enter in your lifetime. Cherish it well. Once you enter the Sacred Transformation Pond, you'll be like a fish leaping through the dragon gate, transforming into a dragon and becoming a saint. All right, benefactors, please follow me to open the Sacred Transformation Pond, the old monk said to the others. In the next moment, a few more Tongtian old monsters appeared. They stood in different directions, and at the same time, erupted with boundless power, striking towards the sky above the Sacred Transformation Mountain. Swoosh! Streaks of astonishing power caused the heavens and earth to change. The sky seemed to split open, and a holy pond appeared. When the geniuses saw these heaven-reaching old monsters making their moves, they realized that they were still so weak. A casual strike from these heaven-reaching old monsters could wipe them out instantly. This is the power of the heavens. I must reach such heights in this lifetime. That's right. We're not even 100 years old yet, but we already have the combat power of the Saint Realm. Reaching the Heavenly Connection Realm is just a piece of cake. I'm coming for the Sacred Transformation Pool. I'll definitely become a saint in one go. Haha. I can finally release the power that I've been suppressing here. Holy Pool of Immersion. The old monk's voice rang out. These geniuses all rushed towards the crack in the sky. A Sacred Transformation Pond was sealed in space, and only transcending heaven-level powerhouses could do it. Let's go, Yang Wu shouted and rushed towards the crack with the people around him. The Sacred Transformation Pond was not a pool of water, but a spatial zone that was infinitely close to the star runes. One could feel the rich power of the stars and be tempered by the power of the stars, manifesting a saint physique. When they stepped into the Sacred Transformation Pond, they saw a flowing river of stars reflected by the inverted Sacred Transformation Pond. It was truly shocking. The Sacred Transformation Pond manifests a river of stars. The geniuses stared at the scene with wide eyes, unable to recover for a long time. Swoosh! Suddenly, streaks of power of the stars shone down, penetrating the surface of the Sacred Transformation Pond and landing on the geniuses. The power of the stars was boundless. It was as if a saint was making a move, squeezing the bodies of these geniuses, causing them incomparable pain. The power of the stars was too domineering. Caught off guard, they all let out miserable shrieks. Those who could not withstand it vomited blood and were sent flying. Those who could withstand it did not feel good either. At the same time, there were lotus platforms that led directly to the inverted Sacred Transformation Pond. This also meant that the higher the lotus platform, the greater the power of the stars it could withstand and the greater the benefits. The prerequisite was that one had to have the ability to sit on these lotus platforms. The Palace Lord of the Longevity Hall was the first to rush towards the lotus platform. He could withstand the crushing power of the stars here. Apart from him, Jin Xiu, Xinyuan Hou, Jiang Ping, and the others were also not afraid of the crushing power of the stars. They all rushed towards the lotus platforms. Yang Wu also came to his senses and rushed towards the lotus platforms. He said to the people beside him, "Stay true to your hearts and temper your bodies well. Break through to the Saint Realm as soon as possible." None of the people beside Yang Wu were weak, especially Sun Do, who followed closely behind Yang Wu. Yi was not to be outdone. She had been baptized by heavenly lightning all year round, so her body was also very strong. Yang Ba and Su Chu were not weak, but they still needed some time to adapt to the power of the stars before charging towards the lotus platforms. Meng Bingxue, Shu Yujun, Lu Ji, and the others all sat down cross-legged. They could not move around here, but as long as they persevered, they would reap great benefits. Miao Miao was weak, but he was worthy of being Miao Miaoqi's most valued descendant. He also had a secret technique that allowed him to persevere bitterly. Old ancestor, you're simply making me suffer. There were also a few other prodigies who were sent in through the unspoken rules like Meow Meow. They were all prepared. They persevered with their willpower. Even if they stayed here for 2 more hours, they would still reap more benefits. Yang Wu walked as he circulated the supreme 9 mysteries formula and absorbed the power of the stars here. Swish, swish. The power of the stars flowed into his body like water. 3 star marks appeared on his body, and he became incomparably holy. The power of the stars flowed into his body, and the immortality peach tree also showed its might at this moment. It absorbed a large amount of the power of the stars, and its growth was very gratifying. It was definitely the fastest the immortality peach tree had ever grown. Looks like this heavenly power is the most suitable for nourishing the immortality peach tree, Yang Wu thought to himself. At this moment, his body had undergone a new round of tempering, but the effects were not so obvious to him. Furthermore, the power in his dantian continued to surge. If this continued, it would not be long before he could increase his power by another level. As expected of the Saint Transformation Pond, Yang Wu said with great satisfaction. He stepped onto the first lotus platform, and the people sitting there consciously made way for Yang Wu. Yang Wu's name was so shocking that he was not qualified to stop Yang Wu. There were a total of 81 lotus platforms, and the one at the very top was the closest to the Saint Transformation Pond. It had been 10,000 years since anyone had stepped onto that platform. The power of the stars would increase with every level of the lotus platform. It was not something that anyone could withstand. Now, the first palace king had already stepped onto the 13th lotus platform. Jin Xiu was on the 12th, and Xin Yuan Huowu was on the 11th. These were not their limits, and they were still going up. Yang Wu finally felt the difference between the lotus platforms. The power of the stars that each lotus platform could withstand was many times greater. It was like the pressure of a powerful saint. If one could withstand it, they would be able to absorb the power of the stars to temper their body. If not, they would roll down. The power of the stars on the first lotus platform was 10 times greater than the ones below. The power of the stars on the second lotus platform was 20 times greater. The power of the stars on the third lotus platform was 30 times greater. Yang Wu slowly walked up step by step. The stronger the power of the stars, the clearer he could feel it. However, it still did not make him feel pressured. When Yang Wu arrived at the 7th lotus platform, it was where the young Hall King of the Eternal Life Hall was. When he saw Yang Wu walk up, he shouted, "Yang Wu, get down." Yang Wu ignored the young Palace King and stepped onto the 7th lotus platform. The distance between the 6th lotus platform and the 7th lotus platform was 100 zhang. To Yang Wu, it was only a step away. When Yang Wu was about to land on the 7th lotus platform, the young Palace King drew the power of the stars to suppress Yang Wu. Roll! Before the young Palace King's attack could land on Yang Wu shouted and drew the majestic power of the stars to suppress the young Palace King. Puff! The young Palace King did not even have the chance to react. He was suppressed by the power of the stars and was sent flying while vomiting blood. How was this possible? The young Palace King shouted as he fell down unwillingly. He could already mobilize some of the power of the stars. With his battle strength, he could at least resist Yang Wu for a while. However, the reality was much crueler than he had imagined. The people below were shocked when they saw this scene. Yang Wu had not even made a move, but he had already suppressed the young Palace King and sent him flying. His strength was too powerful. Yang Wu stepped onto the 7th lotus platform. He paused for a moment before continuing to the 8th lotus platform. The Sky Pride on the 8th lotus platform was Lei Bei from the Purple Firmament Palace. When he saw Yang Wu coming over, he did not dare to stop him and hurriedly rushed to the 9th lotus platform. Chapter 1200. The Sacred Transformation Pond was a strange place. It hung upside down in the sky, reflecting countless stars to form a galaxy. The power of the stars fell into the space through the Sacred Transformation Pond, helping people to temper their bodies and comprehend the power of the stars. Over the years, the sacred transformation pond had helped countless geniuses of the human clan achieve extraordinary achievements. As an invincible emperor, Yang Wu had broken through to the star rune realm first. Standing in this world, he could feel it very deeply. The power of the stars fell on his body, cleaning some of the extremely fine impurities in his body again. Yang Wu's body was comparable to the high-level saint realm, but there were still some impurities that could not be detected. Many geniuses persevered, and their bodies rapidly transformed to the half-step saint realm, or even the saint realm. They were overjoyed. As long as they clenched their teeth and persevered, it would be easy for them to refine a powerful saint realm. No wonder the sacred transformation pond was the highest secret of the human clan to become a saint. It was not a lie. Some of the weaker geniuses could not hold on for long and could not bear it anymore. Damn it, my body is just transformed into a half-step saint. I can't bear it anymore. I really don't want to leave like this. The power of the stars forcibly poured into my body. It's too abnormal. I almost became a saint. Clench my teeth and persevere. I want to break through the limit. The wills of the geniuses here were extraordinary. They endured the pain of their bodies being torn apart and endured the baptism of the stars. Some people could not bear it and crushed the jade tube to be teleported out. Some still persevered until the end, but unfortunately, they were crushed by the merciless power of the stars. Many geniuses saw the dead geniuses and felt a lingering fear. They were all thinking that once they reached the limit, they would leave immediately. No matter how good the opportunity was, it was futile if they did not have the life to enjoy it. In less than an hour after the sacred transformation pond opened, more than a dozen people had been teleported out of here. At this moment, Yang Wu had reached the 9th lotus platform. He did not stop and continue to go up. On the 10th platform, he met the two brothers, Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao, who were the golden boys of Kunlun. These two brothers were both extraordinarily handsome and had extraordinary temperaments. Their bodies flickered with golden light as if a golden dragon was being nurtured in their bodies. Their strength had reached the half-step saint realm. When they saw Yang Wu step forward, Jin Yuqin smiled and said, "Saint Master Yang Wu, long time no see." Jin Yuqin had met Yang Wu in the Apothecary Alliance. Yang Wu looked at him and nodded. Long time no see. After he finished speaking, he had already landed on the 10th lotus platform. Jin Yuhao was like a golden dragon waking up. He glared at Yang Wu and shouted, "This is not a place you should be. Get out of here." In the next moment, he was about to attack Yang Wu, but his elder brother pressed down on his arm and said, "Brother, don't be rude to Saint Master Yang Wu. Brother, we are invincible together. Even Kuan Mingzi has to be polite when he sees us. There is no need to be afraid of him," Jin Yuhao replied. Jin Yuqin ignored Jin Yuhao. Instead, he cupped his hands and said to Yang Wu, "My brother is young and impetuous. Saint Master Yang Wu, please forgive him. You go first." The two of them were enduring the astral energy to temper their bodies. If they fought, they might not be able to withstand the astral energy suppression. Yang Wu replied calmly, "It's not wrong to be young and impetuous. What's wrong is to be too conceited." After he finished speaking, he walked past the two brothers and headed towards the 11th lotus platform. With every lotus platform he ascended, he had to withstand more astral energy. However, Yang Wu seemed to be walking on flat ground. He was extremely relaxed. Although the astral energy here is powerful, I need to reach at least 30 lotus platforms to feel any pressure. Yang Wu estimated in his heart. Therefore, he no longer dared to delay and quickly rushed toward the higher lotus platforms. His body was like a flood dragon. His movements were very fast as he rushed past 10 lotus platforms and caught up with the first Hall King who was on the 20th lotus platform. The first Hall King looked at Yang Wu and said indifferently, "I didn't expect you to have also broken through to the celestial rune realm." Yang Wu looked at the first Hall King and said, "I was just lucky." Yang Wu ignored the first Hall King and continued toward the 21st lotus platform. The first Hall King looked at Yang Wu's back and muttered, "Are the disciples nurtured by the heavenly palace this strong?" In the next moment, The first Hall King also rushed forward to catch up. At this moment, the one who reached the highest position was Jin Xiao. He had already stepped onto the 33rd platform. How terrifying was the astral energy this position had to withstand. Even a high-level saint's body would be squeezed until exploded. After reaching this platform, Jin Xiao finally sat down cross-legged and absorbed the astral energy here to temper his physique. Below him was Xianyuan Huowu. This girl had also stepped onto the 31st platform. This was already her limit. Yang Wu didn't want to waste too much time. There was no one obstructing him from the lotus platforms behind him. He quickly rushed to the 30th platform. The pressure here was 300 times more terrifying than the one below. Only a peak middle-level saint could barely withstand it. Yang Wu clearly felt some pressure, but it was still within the range of what he could bear. Yang Wu raised his head and muttered to the lotus platforms above him. If you work hard and reach the platform, the benefits will be even greater. Yang Wu stepped onto the 31st lotus platform. Xianyuan Huowu was sitting there cross-legged. Little Wu, do you have the heart to surpass me? Xianyuan Huowu lightly gritted her teeth and revealed a pitiful expression. Yang Wu's body shivered and he laughed. Your Highness, don't scare me like this. My hair is standing on end. Goodbye. In the next moment, he went even higher. Little Wu, just you wait. I will definitely catch up to you. Xianyuan Huowu exclaimed as she looked at Yang Wu, who had surpassed her. The two of them had established a friendship in the God of War Pagoda. Both of them had reached the 12th level of the God of War Pagoda. One was the Dragon Emperor of the Heavenly Dragon ranking, while the other was the Emperor Phoenix of the Heavenly Phoenix ranking. In the eyes of others, they looked like a golden boy and a jade girl. Unfortunately, they weren't. Yang Wu had surpassed Jin Xiao. Jin Xiao smiled and said, You are now qualified to fight with me. Yang Wu smiled disapprovingly and continued to climb with difficulty. After reaching the 33rd level, Yang Wu was still able to withstand the pressure of a high-level saint. His physique was truly extraordinary. Yang Wu reached the 49th level in one go. Only then did he sit cross-legged on the lotus platform and cultivate while panting. Too terrifying. I feel like a star is pressing down on my shoulder. If I continue to challenge it, I will definitely be crushed. Yang Wu said in shock. When the people below saw Yang Wu's magnificent feat, they were completely shocked. Even an ordinary peak saint might not be able to reach the 49th level of the lotus platform. Yang Wu had actually done it. Truly abnormal. As expected of the invincible emperor, Yang Wu reached the highest position, followed by Jin Xiao, Xianyuan Huowu, and Kuan Mingzi. He also reached the 30th level, which surprised everyone. Jiang Ping reached the 29th level. When Yu Yu was about to reach the 29th level, this guy provoked Yu Yu, forcing her to fight with him. Yu Yu had only cultivated for a short period of time, so she was forced to retreat to the 28th level. Xuanyuan's three lords, Chao Jifei, Little Man, and Sun Do all reached the 20th level and above. The majority of people stopped at the 10th level and below. When Yang Wu sat cross-legged on the 49th level, 1/3 of the people had already been transported out of the sacred transformation pond. The others could temporarily stay behind to receive the star energy's tempering. Yang Wu's senses were even clearer. He was enveloped by the star energy. Strands of star energy squeezed into his body, completely removing the impurities on his body. If he couldn't accept this process, his flesh would be crushed. Even his organs and bones would be crushed, ultimately leading to death. Yang Wu had achieved the sacred dragon physique and reached the 3rd level of the celestial rune realm. Although the pressure made him feel pain, it was still within the range that he could endure. He looked inside his body and discovered that his body was undergoing earth-shattering changes. My flesh has become tougher. Every part of my body has been compressed to become more solid and valiant. After the star energy poured into all my acupoints, they became even more terrifying, especially the places where I activated my innate talent. They became even more powerful. Yang Wu exclaimed in his heart. He finally knew the miraculous secret of the sacred transformation pond. He didn't have time to think too much. He circulated the regal 9 profound arts and crazily absorbed the energy. His temperament crazily rose. A faintly discernible star trace appeared between his divine court and Danteon. Once this star trace was condensed, he would reach the 4th level of the celestial rune realm. In the past, Yang Wu would compress his energy and break through after reaching the limit. This time, he didn't need to compress at all. Under the boundless star energy's pressure, his body became even more abnormal. It completely surpassed the limit and became even more perfect. 4-star traces appeared, and he instantly broke through to the intermediate level of the Saint realm. After reaching the celestial rune realm, if one wanted to increase their strength by 1 level, they would need to accumulate a boundless amount of energy. And here, there was an astonishing amount of star energy that satisfied the requirements of any saint. As long as one had enough devouring speed, it would be enough. Others weren't as abnormal as Yang Wu. The amount of star energy he could refine was 1,000 times more than others. This was a terrifying number. When he broke through to the 4th level of the celestial rune realm, the pressure on the 49 lotus platforms lessened. Once again, he stood up and went up. Stepping on the 49 lotus platforms was already the highest achievement in 10,000 years. If the heaven-reaching old monster in the outside world knew about this, he would definitely be shocked. At this moment, someone below shouted in pleasant surprise, "Ha! I broke through to the celestial rune realm." When his voice fell, the descending star energy became incomparably terrifying. This was a large increase in strength caused by his breakthrough. He couldn't bear it at all and had no choice but to retreat. There were many people in the same situation as him. When they broke through, they attracted a large amount of star energy. Their mystic arts weren't converted fast enough, and they were uncomfortable under the pressure of the star energy. If they didn't retreat, they would die without a doubt. In just 4 hours, half of the people here were gone. In addition, there are also people like Yang Wu who could continue to go up after breaking through. That was Tang Xiaohan from Mount Amei. "Yang Wu, I will definitely surpass you. In the future, you will definitely regret your decision." Chapter 1201. Tang Xiaohan was only at the mid-level dragon transformation realm. There was still a large gap between her and the other prodigies. However, she was able to withstand the crushing power of the stars. Her strength soared, and she quickly reached the peak dragon transformation realm. She had only increased her strength by absorbing some of the star energy. She was unable to draw in more star energy, so the pressure she was under was the least. Of course, the fact that she was able to remain here without being crushed had a lot to do with the secret on her body. Tang Xiaohan headed for the 1st lotus platform. She didn't expect to catch up to Yang Wu immediately, but she definitely didn't want to fall too far behind him. In the future, she still wanted to kill Yang Wu, this heartless man. Yang Wu naturally didn't know that Tang Xiaohan already hated him to the bone. He had already arrived in front of the 55 lotus platforms, and once again endured the crushing pressure of the boundless star energy. The density of his body shrank, and his figure seemed to have shrunk by a notch. His bones emitted popping sounds, as if they would break at any moment, and blood even seeped out from his flesh. "I can't continue. I have to refine and absorb the star energy," Yang Wu murmured. He sat down again to absorb the star energy. The star energy was crushing his body. That kind of extreme pain was not something an ordinary person could endure. He had the undying physique, which allowed him to recover on his own. Just this point alone made him incomparable to other prodigies. The power of the 4-star patterns flickered as a large amount of star power entered his body. The immortality peach tree grew at a crazy speed. It had broken away from its original green sprout form and assumed the form of a young peach tree. This young peach tree was shrouded in immortal light, like a dragon and a phoenix. The star energy that was poured into it formed specks of starlight, which eventually condensed into drops of immortal liquid, making it seem even more sacred. As the young peach tree grew, the star energy hanging in the Saint Pond shone down on Yang Wu, forming a river of stars. That terrifying pressure frightened Yang Wu. "It's over," Yang Wu involuntarily cried out. He had originally thought that he would be able to reach the 81st Lotus platform. Who would have thought that he would attract such a terrifying amount of star energy when he reached the 55th Lotus platform? How could he endure it? The prodigies below him were all affected by this energy, and they all involuntarily cried out, "Damn it! How did the star energy become so terrifying? I can't hold on any longer. It wasn't easy for me to condense a star rune. I don't want to leave like this. Not good. It'll be too late if we don't leave now." These geniuses all cherish their own lives. Even though this place could greatly shorten their cultivation time, they could only give up in the face of unstoppable power. Bang! Bang! Many prodigies crushed their jade tubes and quickly teleported out of this place. Tang Xiaohan had just arrived at the first Lotus platform, but before she could even sit down, she was forced to leave. But before she left, she looked up at Yang Wu's position and discovered that boundless star energy was descending on Yang Wu's head. She couldn't help but let out a carefree laugh. "Yang Wu, it's best if you die here, huh?" The others also saw that a large amount of star energy was rushing towards Yang Wu. If Yang Wu didn't leave, he would really die. "Husband, leave quickly," Yu Yu loudly shouted. Shu Yujun also looked at Yang Wu worriedly from the 9th Lotus platform. In the end, she rationally chose to leave first. She firmly believed that Yang Wu would also leave immediately. Just like this, other than Yang Wu, the other prodigies crushed their cylinders and moved out of the Saint Pond. None of the prodigies dared to be careless. Even the top-notch Jinxiu and Great Hall King ran as fast as they could. The power of a star river was simply terrifying. Outside the Saint Transformation Pool, the heavenly Grandmaster Old Monsters looked at the Sky Prides coming out one after another with astonishment. This batch of prodigies is even stronger than the previous batch. Why do they come out so quickly? It hasn't even been 3 days, right? Could it be that their endurance is worse than the previous batches? Even the most promising seed prodigies have come out. What's going on? The heaven-reaching Old Monsters were shocked. They asked the prodigies one after another, trying to figure out what happened to the Saint Pond. When these Heaven's Prides answered, they also felt a bit strange. The Sacred Transformation Pond was a holy land set up for Overlord-level characters. The transformation of the astral energy was very orderly, and it was impossible for a large-scale astral energy to crush down at the same time. Was there something wrong with the Sacred Transformation Pond? "Where's the Lord?" White-haired Demonis asked Yangba. "The Lord hasn't come out yet. Could it be that he's still resisting?" Yangba revealed a worried expression. "The Lord will definitely be fine. Maybe he'll come out soon," Su Chu said. So, they all waited for Yang Wu to come out. In the end, after half a day, Yang Wu still didn't come out. The heaven-reaching Old Monsters also noticed the strange situation. Most of the prodigies had come out, but the jade tubes that didn't come out had shattered, which meant that they had died inside. But Yang Wu's jade tube didn't shatter, but he didn't come out. They suspected that Yang Wu was still inside, receiving the inheritance. No matter if they were sure or not, they couldn't interfere with the Saint Pond's rules. They couldn't go in to check. Everything would stop when Yang Wu's jade tube shattered. The white-haired youth muttered, "Looks like that little guy did something shocking again." Many prodigies realized that the heaven-reaching Old Monsters didn't have any intention of closing the Saint Pond. They were completely shocked. Could it be that Yang Wu can still withstand the crushing power of the stars? Impossible. Even at peak level, Saint wouldn't be able to withstand it. That's the power of an entire galaxy. Those lords didn't seal the Saint Pond, which means that there are still people inside. Who else could it be other than Yang Wu? How'd he do it? Inside the Saint Pond, Yang Wu didn't shatter the jade tube. It was the immortal peach tree that sent him a message. "Master, don't worry. This is the power I need. I will block it for you." A baby-like voice rang out in Yang Wu's mind. If it wasn't for this voice, Yang Wu would have already shattered the jade tube and fled as fast as he could. The immortal peach tree had become a spirit. How old was it? It had already condensed a spirit. No wonder it was the one and only longevity immortal tree. The power of the galaxy above the Saint Pond gathered, and the immortal peach tree appeared from Yang Wu's body. A majestic suction force was generated, crazily refining and devouring the power of the stars. Master, you can go to the highest lotus platform. It's easier to accept the power there, the immortal peach tree said. Yang Wu was stunned for a moment. Then, he quickly flew toward the highest lotus platform. This lotus platform was much smaller than the other lotus platforms. It could only accommodate one person sitting cross-legged. The other lotus platforms were much bigger than this one. However, this lotus platform was much more noble than the other lotus platforms. It was made of top-grade Saint Jade. Only monstrous geniuses at the supremacy level were qualified to sit here. Boundless astral powers moved along with Yang Wu, and a large amount of astral powers descended. The immortal immortality, peach tree spirit, continued to absorb the astral powers at a frenzied pace. It continued to grow. More and more branches grew out, and leaves grew out as well. Every leaf was like a star, imbued with an incomparably shocking and mysterious might. Yang Wu was completely shocked when he sensed the changes of the immortal peach tree. What kind of law is this imprinted power? Yang Wu thought to himself. The immortal peach tree seemed to sense Yang Wu's question. It took the initiative to explain. This is the law of the stars. It can create the celestial path of the stars. Celestial path of the stars? Celestial path of the stars? Yang Wu was confused. He did not understand at all. He had never heard of this concept before. Even little Hay had never told him about it. Master, you should absorb the power of the stars first. Once you reach a certain level, you will naturally understand, the immortal peach tree said. Yang Wu came back to his senses and nodded. Then, he said, Xiao Man, can you absorb the power of the stars here? The sacred mandala flower said weakly. In front of the immortal peach tree, I do not dare to be presumptuous. She was the most evil plant. She was extremely arrogant. In front of the immortal peach tree, she had no confidence at all. Absorb it. You won't be able to absorb much anyway. If you can imprint a trace of the great Tao, you will become even more powerful. Unfortunately, this is only a man-made land of stars, the immortal peach tree replied. Thank you, immortal peach tree, the sacred mandala flower said happily. Then, she emerged from Yang Wu's body and turned into a shocking sacred mandala flower. She began to devour the power of the stars. Most of the power of the stars here was absorbed and blocked by the immortal peach tree. It would not cause any harm to her or Yang Wu. This is a man-made land? Yang Wu was shocked. Yes, I'm only borrowing the power of the stars here. It is not the real power of the stars. Master, when you reach the immortal peach tree, I hope you can enter the stars to cultivate. That way, I can grow faster, the immortal peach tree replied. Then, it said, let's not talk about it anymore. The power here is limited. I will finish absorbing as soon as possible. Master, you should also experience it. It will be beneficial for you. The immortal peach tree completely opened up and absorbed the power of the stars. Yang Wu did not dare to ask any more questions. He sat down cross-legged and activated the supreme 9 mysteries formula. He was also absorbing the power of the stars crazily. The 4th line of stars became thicker and stronger, and its power increased. Soon, the 5th line of stars appeared. Such a breakthrough speed was not any slower than when he had obtained the underworld mysterious essence Qi. At the same time, Yang Wu was multitasking. He was observing the changes in the stars, as well as the mysterious lines imprinted on the leaves of the immortal peach tree. The incantation of the star swallowing sword skill appeared in his spirit sea. The star swallowing sword skill corresponds to the power of the stars. Maybe I can get a surprise by cultivating it here, Yang Wu muttered to himself. Then his battle soul began to cultivate this battle skill. Chapter 1202. Star Swallowing Sword Technique. First move, split world. Second move, destroy stars. Third move, destroy the galaxy. Fourth move, devour the starry sky. Fifth move, great chaos vital essence. This was a powerful sword technique that Yang Wu had obtained after his bloodline awakened. It was at least a divine level sword technique. Yang Wu had condensed the heart of the sword, and then stepped into the black tortoise sword Dao from the heart of the sword. His grasp of this sword skill was getting stronger and stronger, but he was still unable to cultivate the battle skill to a perfect state. This was a divine technique that could only be cultivated after reaching the pinnacle saint realm. Now that Yang Wu had entered the intermediate saint realm, he was not even afraid of a pinnacle saint. It would not be difficult for him to cultivate the last two moves of the star-swallowing sword technique. Moreover, the galaxy gathered here and the starlight kept falling. It was the best place to cultivate the star-swallowing sword technique. How could he let it go? Yang Wu's fighting soul kept practicing. Strands of star power were driven by him. It was as if the stars in the galaxy were moving with his sword. The star-swallowing sword technique could devour the starry sky with one move. This was a place with a galaxy. If one wanted to devour the starry sky with one move, how powerful would one need to be? There were countless star powers here. With the help of these star powers, one could devour the power of the starry sky. Yang Wu stabbed out again and again. Many star powers were driven. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula unleashed a power that was 1,000 times stronger than before. The movement caused by it was getting bigger and bigger. Thousands of stars appeared in his mind. There was a galaxy that was pierced by a ray of sword chi. In the end, it formed a terrifying, devouring power. The fourth move, Devour the Starry Sky, was finally comprehended. At the same time, Yang Wu had a new sword principle. It was called the Star-Swallowing Sword Principle. There were 3,000 great Daos and thousands of minor Daos. The Sword Dao was one of the 3,000 great Daos, and it could evolve into countless other Sword Daos, which were also known as minor Daos. The Black Tortoise Sword Dao and the Star-Devouring Sword Dao did not conflict. They were both a type of Sword Dao, and their powers were different. Yang Wu originally wanted to cultivate his own sword principle with the Star-Swallowing Sword technique. However, he could not cultivate it to the Great Realm. Instead, he used the power of his bloodline, the Big Dipper Sword, and the power of the Sword Heart to form his own Black Tortoise Sword principle. The Black Tortoise was the Yang family's totem, and it was one of the easiest great Daos. Now that he had mastered the Star-Swallowing Sword Dao, he was able to unleash the power of the Star-Swallowing Sword technique. At this time, the Big Dipper Sword appeared in his hand, and he swung it again and again. Thousands of sword energies fell down like the energy of the stars, containing an extremely terrifying power. With his current strength, there was no need for him to fear any saint-level beings. If he went all out, he could even slaughter a half-step heaven-span cultivator. When he stopped, the power of the stars that filled the sky had already disappeared. What's going on? Yang Wu was stunned. The star-swallowing sword principle above the Saint Pond dimmed. The immortal immortality peach tree said, "The accumulated star-swallowing sword principle has disappeared. It needs to be dormant for a while before it can appear again." Yang Wu's face twitched. He did not expect the immortal immortality peach tree to be so powerful. It had swallowed all the star-swallowing sword principle. If the heaven-reaching elder found out about this, he wondered if he would be skinned alive. "Master, when you break through to the Jade Moon realm, you must go to the star-swallowing sword principle," the immortal immortality peach tree pleaded. Yang Wu nodded and said, "Don't worry. If that day comes, I will go to the star-swallowing sword principle." Yang Wu knew from the Wudong Supreme Protector that the transcendent realm was only one of the realms of Earthstar. There were higher realms. He still had a long way to go. Even though he had reached the level 5 celestial rune realm, he did not dare to say that he was invincible among saints. It was better to keep a low profile. However, he had gained a lot from this trip. Not only had the immortal immortality peach tree grown, but it had also condensed a lot of immortal dew. Before this, he was worried that he would run out of immortal dew. He could only use it sparingly and concoct some immortal dew for himself and others. Now, he did not need to worry about that anymore. As long as he was happy, he could give a drop of immortal dew to his people. At this moment, He also understood that little Hay was not lying when she said that she had bathed in immortal dew. He felt that he would soon have the right to do so. As for what to do with the immortality peach tree, he believed that he would have a solution after he went out. He was in good mood. He crushed the jade tube and left. Whoosh! Yang Wu disappeared from the sacred transformation pond and reappeared outside the sacred transformation mountain. When he came out, many gazes looked at him. When Yang Wu felt these gazes, he touched his face and said, "Could it be that I've become more handsome? My lord, I've noticed that your skin has become thicker." Lu Ji's voice rang out from nearby. "I feel that boss has become more handsome," Miao Miao said honestly. Indeed, after Yang Wu had been tempered by the power of the stars, his saint body had become even more abnormal. Now, even a high-grade saint weapon would not be able to harm him. He was already comparable to a peak saint. For Yang Wu to be able to reach this step, it was inseparable from the fact that he had obtained several kinds of mysterious essence qi. His regal 9 mysteries formula was getting more and more powerful, and his stamina was also getting stronger and stronger, leaving his peers far behind. Ba, the last young benefactor has come out. The sacred transformation pond will end here. The old monk of the Shaolin Temple clasped his hands and said. The other old monsters also withdrew their power. The crack in the sky closed up, and the sacred transformation pond could no longer be seen. The other geniuses all revealed looks of pity. They felt that if they could stay in the sacred transformation pond for a while, they would definitely gain more. "Master, he's Yang Wu." Tang Xiaohan stayed beside an incomparably sharp middle-aged woman and pointed at Yang Wu. "He has a good appearance, but unfortunately, he's just a heartless man. Master will teach him a lesson for you." The middle-aged woman said coldly. She flicked her finger and a sword energy shot towards Yang Wu. No one would have thought that a heaven-reaching realm character would suddenly attack Yang Wu. Yang Wu was even more surprised. He could not sense the other party's attack at all. The difference between the two was too great. Just as the sword energy was about to land on Yang Wu's body, another power swept out and erased the sword energy. "Miju, it's wrong of you to sneak attack a junior." A white-haired youth walked over and said faintly, "Wherever you go, you have to meddle in other people's business. Don't you feel tired?" The middle-aged woman coldly snorted. "The matters of the world are managed by the people of the world. Besides, little brother Yang Wu is my old friend. It's not your turn to teach him a lesson. Hurry up and scram." The white-haired youth said without any trace of politeness. The middle-aged woman frowned. An invisible killing intent pervaded the air, as if she would draw her sword and kill at any moment. "I advise you not to make a move. Even if your emotionless sword Dao has reached large success, it won't be good in front of me. Don't make a fool of yourself." The white-haired youth said, "Madman, what kind of skill is bullying a woman? Be careful, or Miju will really fight you to the death." The blue-robed, middle-aged man faintly said, "I can fight to the death too." The white-haired youth looked at the blue-robed, middle-aged man and replied. At this time, the old monk clasped his hands and said, "Everyone, don't let the juniors see a joke. Come to my temple to drink a cup of tea and eat a bowl of vegetarian food. Wouldn't that be great?" "Old monk, keep your simple tea and plain food for yourself," said one of the heaven-reaching old monsters. Then, he stepped into the space and disappeared. "I'm also leaving." Another heaven-reaching old monster said, "Xiaoan, let's go." The middle-aged woman glared at the white-haired youth and turned around to leave with Tang Xiaoan. Just like this, most of the heaven-reaching old monsters left. The white-haired youth said to the old monk, "Honest monk, they don't give you face. I'll give you face and follow you back to Shaolin to eat vegetarian food and chant Buddhist scriptures." "You madman, it's better if you don't come. Buddhist lands don't welcome bandits," the old monk said and turned around to quickly slip away. The white-haired youth said unhappily, "Is this senior's reputation that bad? Didn't I just learn a few Shaolin skills? It's not like I stole them." Lu Ji, who was behind the white-haired youth, said, "Shirzun, even the monks fear you like a tiger. You have to reflect on yourself." "Yes, you have to reflect on yourself. After you go back, you're forbidden from seeing Lulu for half a year." "Ah, Shirzun, I was wrong. You are the most handsome, most powerful, and most noble Shurzuan in history. You can't be so cruel." The white-haired youth was too lazy to pay attention to Lu Ji. He waved at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, how did you offend the old witch of Mount Mei?" Yang Wu rushed over and shook his head with a bitter smile. "I don't know. Maybe my Yang family and Mount Mei have some conflicts." After pausing for a moment, he thought about it and said, "Maybe it has something to do with her disciple. Yes, no matter what, you still have to be careful. There is no lack of geniuses these days. What we lack are geniuses who can grow. You have already reached the 5th level of the Celestial Rune Realm and can be considered to have grown. However, when facing the Jade Moon Realm, there is still a big gap. Don't fail miserably," the white-haired youth reminded. He then said, "After reaching the Celestial Rune Realm, properly comprehend the heaven and earth. Don't be in a hurry to break through. Sometimes, breaking through too quickly isn't necessarily a good thing." "Yes," Yang Wu obediently agreed. The person in front of him was an expert of the transcending heaven realm. He might even be an existence that stood at the peak. He had to accept the other's kind reminder. The white-haired youth reminded Yang Wu to remember to cultivate the way of Tai Chi then. He pulled Lu Ji and quickly left. Lu Ji didn't even have time to say goodbye to Yang Wu. After these transcending heaven realm experts left, Yang Wu turned to look at the other geniuses and shouted, "Kuan Mingzi, come and die." Kuan Mingzi was definitely at the top of his kill list. "Wu, don't shout." Kuan Mingzi left early. Meng Bingshue's voice rang out. "Yang Wu, are you challenging the dignity of Kunlun?" Another voice replied to Yang Wu. Chapter 1203. The one who stood out and spoke to Yang Wu was Kunlun's golden boy, Jin Yuhao. Jin Yuhao and his elder brother, Jin Yuchen, were both on the Heavenly Dragon ranking, but their rankings weren't too high. They actually dared to challenge Yang Wu. This courage was truly commendable. Jin Yuchen wanted to stop Jin Yuhao, but it was already too late. He clearly understood why his younger brother was targeting Yang Wu. It was all because of Xianyuan Huowu. Yang Wu glanced at Jin Yuhao and replied indifferently, "I believe many people know what Kuan Mingzi has done. I want to kill him, but it doesn't mean that I'm provoking Kunlun." He paused for a moment, then emphasized, "If you insist, I don't mind. Marshal, forget it." Meng Bingxue understood Kunlun's background and hurriedly spoke out to stop Yang Wu. She then looked at Jin Yuhao and said, "Junior brother Yuhao, don't bother. Yang Wu doesn't have any other intentions. Senior sister Bingxue, you're from Kunlun. Don't side with outsiders." Jin Yuhao replied, then stared at Yang Wu and said, "Yang Wu, I want to challenge you. Do you dare to accept?" Are you worthy?" Yang Wu was stunned for a moment. Then a trace of disapproval appeared on his face. Even though he could sense that Jin Yuhao had reached the Celestial Rune Realm, he was still too weak in his eyes. Jin Yuhao felt a great humiliation. His fame wasn't as great as Kuan Mingzi's, but it didn't mean that his battle prowess was inferior to Kuan Mingzi's. Now that he had challenged Yang Wu, he was actually being looked down upon. How could he not be furious? "Yang Wu, fight me if you have the guts." In the next moment, the strength of the Celestial Rune Realm erupted from his body. A celestial rune lingered on his body like a golden dragon, devouring the formless power of the stars. It displayed an extremely powerful strength. There were 200 exceptional geniuses here who had entered the sacred transformation pool together. However, those who had broken through to the Star Mark realm could be counted on one's fingers. Jin Yuhao was the first to reach this step, which still moved the others. "So mighty. If you can defeat him, I'll definitely like you," Xianyuan Huowu said with an appearance of wanting to see the world in chaos. At this time, Chao Jifei also said to Jin Yuchen, "Yang Wu and I are engaged. If you like me, you have to defeat him. Otherwise, you will never have a chance in this lifetime." Jin Yuchen looked back at Chao Jifei and said, "Are you serious? Do I need to lie to you about this?" Chao Jifei replied calmly, "Seventh Princess, Chao Jifei, don't cause trouble." Yang Wu said with a dark expression, "I'm not causing trouble. If I want to find a man, I have to find someone as powerful as you." If he isn't as powerful as you, I won't take a fancy to him, Xin Yuan Huowu said with an innocent face. Yang Wu, I clearly remember our agreement. Even if you go back on your words, I won't agree. Chao Jifei said resolutely and decisively. Miao Miao revealed an expression of worship as he shouted, Boss is boss. As expected of my idol. Truly too mighty. I support you in taking them all down. He had just finished speaking when tragedy struck. Chao Jifei and Xin Yuan Huowu punched him in the eyes, causing him to have panda eyes. The pain caused him to cry. Wu Wu, who did I provoke? Miao Miao cried bitterly. Saint Master Yang Wu, you won't accept my little brother's challenge. Then do you have the qualifications to challenge us brothers? Jin Haochen also released the strength of a first-level celestial rune realm cultivator and challenged Yang Wu. If you want to challenge my big brother, you have to pass through this old sun first. Sun Do walked out with his broken staff and shouted. Sun Do had also broken through the celestial rune realm under the baptism of the star energy. Moreover, he had reached the second level in one go. This leap was not something that anyone could compare to. This was because when Yang Wu had attracted the star energy, Sun Do had also been the last to leave. He had a unique secret absorption technique that could absorb more star energy and help him break through quickly. Those who could borrow star energy to break through to the second level like him could be counted on one hand. With his strength, it was enough to fight Jin Haochen and Jin Haoyu. Yang Wu pulled Sun Do and said, Since so many people want to challenge me, it seems like they're not convinced. Let me deal with them. Big brother, if any random person wants to challenge you, even if you don't get beaten to death, you'll be annoyed to death. Let me deal with them for you. Sun Do replied. Yang Wu was stunned for a moment, then smiled and said, it seems like what you said makes sense. He then said to Jin Haochen and Jin Haoyu, You heard it too. If you win against my brother, I'll apologize to you. How about it? Yang Wu, are you sure you want to do this? Jin Haoyu felt deeply humiliated by Yang Wu and Sun Do. They were all peak-level geniuses that had broken through to the celestial rune realm. Yang Wu was not willing to fight them personally and had someone else fight them. He was looking down on them too much. With so many people here as witnesses, there's no need for me to lie. Yang Wu rubbed his nose and said, Sun Do released the strength of a second-level celestial rune realm cultivator and shouted, If you want to fight, then fight. Don't dawdle here. You two brothers aren't worthy of my big brother fighting. Sun Do's strength was obvious to everyone. There were many geniuses here who had lost to him in the past. After Jin Haoyu felt Sun Do's powerful aura, he didn't dare to be arrogant. He said to his big brother, I'll fight this battle. With that, he took the lead and charged toward Sun Do. Be careful. Jin Haochen couldn't stop his younger brother, so he could only warn him. He sighed in his heart. Yu Hao's hot-bloodedness never dies. Regardless of whether he wins or loses, this battle is very important to him. The two brothers had improved very quickly, which was why it was easy for them to become arrogant. Especially Jin Yu Hao, who had become somewhat conceited. Jin Yu Hao held a halberd in his hand as his body flickered with golden light. The aura of a golden dragon pervaded the air. When the halberd descended, it was as if a golden dragon was crushing towards Sun Do. It had to be said that Jin Yu Hao had a reason to be conceited. He had the strength of a first-level celestial rune realm cultivator, but he could erupt with the strength of a third-level celestial rune realm cultivator. A 10,000-meter-long golden dragon shadow, containing a dense halberd intent, wreaked havoc in all directions with soaring battle intent. I'll beat you up. Sun Do was also a battle-hungry person. He shouted and didn't use his broken staff. Instead, he punched towards Jin Yu Hao with his bare hands. Golden Flame, Sacred Fist. With a punch, golden flames condensed into a huge fist shadow. It carried the tyrannical power of the fist and collided with the golden dragon halberd shadow. Bang! Sun Do's strength was stronger and more tyrannical than Jin Haoyu's. With an unstoppable force, the golden dragon shattered inch by inch. After Jin Yu Hao felt Sun Do's strength, he revealed an extremely shocked expression. He frantically retreated as the power of dragon scales formed on his body, condensing into a dragon scale saint robe. He entered the strongest defensive state. At the same time, he kept waving his halberd. 8 golden dragon halberd shadows blasted towards Sun Do from all directions. Dragon-shaped halberd Dao. This was Jin Yuhao's martial Dao. Its power was astonishing and domineering. Most of the Sky Prides who entered the top 100 of the Heavenly Dragon and Heavenly Phoenix leaderboards had comprehended their own martial Dao. Jin Yuhao was no exception. Unfortunately, Jin Yuhao's combat strength was slightly weaker than Sun Do's. He was forced to fight by Sun Do and couldn't gain the upper hand. Moreover, Sun Do continuously hit him, shattering his dragon scale saint robe. Sun Do's combat strength was too strong. With your strength, you dare to challenge my big brother? You don't even know how to spell the word death. Sun Do's body flashed and appeared beside Jin Yuhao, kicking Jin Yuhao away fiercely. Ah, you forced me to do this. Jin Haoyu sprung up and roared crazily. The golden dragon aura on his body continued to rise crazily, and his battle prowess also increased rapidly. The power of the stars also became more majestic, and an ancient dragon aura was formed, giving the surrounding heavens prides a big fright. This was Jin Yuhao's unique battle chi. It was also his strongest trump card. Some Sky Prides exclaimed, What kind of secret technique is this? The power displayed is too strong. It looks a bit like the Emperor's Dragon Aura technique. Could he be a descendant of some dynasty's emperor? Another Sky Pride said, there were some ancient dynasties in the transcendent realm. Some had long been extinct in the long river of history, while some were still standing. These dynasties had astonishing origins, and their bloodline inheritance was also quite domineering. They were not inferior to the 8 great clans of the war race. The battle chi displayed by Jin Yuhao had the shadow of these dynasties. Among the 8 great war races, only the Xianyuan clan was an emperor clan. They could also display powerful emperor's aura. They didn't expect Jin Yuhao to also have such an ability. Even the Xianyuan clan was a little surprised. Suppress you. Jin Yuhao's body became a lot bigger. He raised his halberd and attacked again. A huge golden dragon descended from the sky. Its battle chi was close to the power of a mid-level saint stage cultivator. Even if you're a dragon, you still have to coil up. Sun Do roared. He finally pulled out his broken staff and swung it toward Jin Yuhao. Battle heaven and earth staff. With one staff strike, heaven and earth collapsed. With one staff strike, the sky lost its color. Even if Sun Do didn't transform, his power was not inferior to Jin Yuhao's. It was even stronger. Staff strike golden dragon. Bang! After the 2 powerful forces collided, wave after wave of power spread out in all directions, forcing many Sky Prides to retreat. The 2 of them were too powerful. Most people didn't think they could block their attacks. After the 2 of them clashed in the air for a while, all of the power disappeared. A figure was sent flying while spitting out blood. It was Jin Yuhao. The dragon scale saint robe on his body had been completely shattered. There was a staff mark on his chest, which had caved in. Jin Haochen quickly rushed over and caught Jin Yuhao. He fed him a pill and said anxiously, "Brother, hang in there." Jin Yuhao said with difficulty, I won't die." After a pause, he said dejectedly, "I lost." "You lost this time. You can win next time," Jin Haochen said encouragingly. He then said, "Brother will help you get back at him." "You can't get back at him. This monk will help you get back at him." A golden figure landed beside them. Chapter 1204. No one expected someone to be standing next to Jin Haochen and Jin Haoyu. Moreover, it was a monk. When the 2 brothers saw the monk's face, they exclaimed, "Jin Xiao." Jin Xiao was an unfathomable prodigy. Some suspected that he was the reincarnation of an enlightened monk. Others suspected that he was a natural-born Buddha. In short, his battle prowess was monstrous. He was also considered the only one who could challenge Yongwu. Jin Juezi was once suppressed by Jin Xiao in the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. The first All King also said that if he fought Jin Xiao one-on-one, it was still unknown who would win. This showed how terrifying Jin Xiao was. Even though Yang Wu had challenged all the powerful prodigies in the last battle and displayed extraordinary battle prowess, Yang Wu still felt that Jin Xiu was a strong opponent. Jin Haochen cupped his hands and said, "Master Jin Xiu, thank you for your help. This is between us brothers. We'll deal with it ourselves. Yes, we'll just admit defeat. It's no big deal. We don't need others to stand up for us," Jin Haoyu said proudly. Jin Xiu looked at them with a strange smile and said, "If I don't stand up for you, who will? Watch carefully." With that, he ignored the two brothers and stepped into the air. He looked at Yang Wu and said, "Do you dare to fight me, Yang Wu?" If it was someone else who challenged him, Yang Wu might have been indifferent. However, Jin Xiu's challenge made his battle intent boil. However, before Yang Wu could respond, Sun Do had already smashed his broken staff at Jin Xiu. "I've said it before, not just anyone can challenge my big brother," Sun Do shouted in shock. The broken staff's power was shocking. It was like a heavenly pillar that could destroy mountains and rivers. Facing this attack, Jin Xiu remained unmoved like a mountain. He slowly raised one of his palms, and a golden palm energy appeared, instantly stopping the staff light. Jin Xiu's monk robes fluttered, causing the dust around him to ripple and tumble. "Go back!" Jin Xiu snorted and pushed his palm forward. It was as if even the sky was being pushed by him. Sun Do was sent tumbling away. When the Sky Pride saw this, they were all shocked. Sun Do's battle prowess was obvious to all. Who would have thought that Jin Xiu would be able to send Sun Do flying so easily? Is this the arrival of an ancient Buddha? I didn't expect there to be such a genius in our human race. He isn't any weaker than the first Hall King or the Flower Thief. He might even be stronger. I just don't know what kind of relationship he has with the two brothers for him to stand up for them. Sun Do was furious. Just as he was about to transform and fight again, Yang Wu appeared beside him. He pressed on his shoulder and said, "Let me fight this battle. I've been waiting for a long time." A few years ago, he already knew how powerful Jin Xiu was. When he entered the Dragon Phoenix Abyss, Jin Xiu didn't even bother to fight with him. It wasn't until the last battle that he exchanged a few blows with Jin Xiu. Today was a rare opportunity, and Yang Wu didn't want to let it go. Now that Yang Wu had reached the 5th level of the Celestial Rune Realm, his battle prowess had skyrocketed. If he still couldn't defeat Jin Xiu under such circumstances, then he wouldn't live up to his title as the Invincible Emperor. In addition, he also felt that Jin Xiu's realm wasn't any weaker than his. He really couldn't figure out what kind of fortuitous encounter Jin Xiu had to be able to undergo such a huge transformation in just a year. Could he really be the reincarnation of an ancient Buddha? "Big brother, I can handle him," Sun Do replied. "No, this battle is mine. You guys can watch from the side." Yang Wu responded and went up to Jin Xiu. The other Sky Prides held their breaths, all wanting to see if Yang Wu could still suppress Jin Xiu in this battle and keep his title as the Invincible Emperor. After the two peerless Sky Prides stood together, all the other Sky Prides retreated. The first Hall King, who hadn't left, murmured, "Let me see how far you've come." The first Hall King had an innate battle constitution and reached the 3rd level of the Celestial Rune Realm after being baptized by the power of the stars. When he entered the Saint Transformation Pond, he was already at the 1st level of the Celestial Rune Realm, so it wasn't surprising that he jumped 2 levels. With his current battle prowess, it would be difficult for him to find a worthy opponent in the mid-level Saint Realm. He could even fight a high-level Saint Realm creature. Apart from him, Jiang Ping had also reached the 3rd level of the Celestial Rune Realm. Jiang Ping hit it very well, so not everyone could sense his realm. "Yang Wu, don't embarrass our heavenly palace," Jiang Ping said loudly. Everyone knew that Yang Wu was a disciple of the Heavenly Palace, but they didn't know that Jiang Ping was also from the Heavenly Palace. At this moment, all the Sky Prides looked at Jiang Ping with astonishment, as if they were doubting the authenticity of Jiang Ping's words. "I didn't expect you to improve so quickly in just a few years," Jin Xiu said with a faint smile as he looked at Yang Wu. Yang Wu also looked at Jin Xiu and said, "That's right, I didn't expect it either." He then asked, "Why are you standing up for them? I don't think you're a warm-hearted person." "Hee hee, There are always people who are worth protecting, Jin Xiu replied with a smile. It seems you have some relationship with them. Yes, a monk doesn't lie. I do have some relationship with them. Then can we start fighting? Let's fight. The two immediately started fighting. Jin Xiu was a step faster than Yang Wu, and a golden fist flew towards Yang Wu's face. The attack was as fast as lightning, making it impossible to guard against. None of the Sky Prides present could sense Jin Xiu's movements. Even the First Hall King, Jiang Ping, and Xin Yuan Hou could only see a blurry image of a fist. No one thought that Jin Xiu had launched a sneak attack. A battle between experts had already begun when they faced each other. If Yang Wu was hit, it could only mean that he had underestimated his opponent. Yang Wu tilted his head and narrowly dodged Jin Xiu's fist. However, Jin Xiu's next fist had already arrived. Yang Wu retreated like the wind, and Jin Xiu took advantage of the situation to pursue him. A crazy golden fist enveloped the area, completely sealing off Yang Wu's escape route. Vajra Fist. This was a Buddhist fist technique, and it was only a heaven skill. However, in Jin Xiu's hands, it had the power to transform something rotten into something magical, forming a fist domain. When he quickly punched out, everyone could faintly see the 5 flowing star veins on his body. Everyone's eyes widened, as if they couldn't believe that Jin Xiu was so powerful. 5-star veins realm. How'd he do it? He must have obtained an ancient inheritance. Only then can he improve so quickly. His luck is too great. That's right. It's only been a year since he left the Dragon Phoenix Abyss. If he didn't use the inheritance method, he definitely wouldn't be able to improve to such a high level. However, the drawback of doing so is very obvious. Doesn't he want to enter the Jade Moon realm? Perhaps he already has a powerful sealed power. It's only now that he's unsealed. How did Jin Xiu obtain such power? It was all his own luck. No one could be jealous of him. Furthermore, which of the geniuses who were able to stay here didn't have any luck? Aside from their own luck, the sect would also have great luck waiting for them. As long as they were willing, their strength could also increase by leaps and bounds in a short period of time. However, there would be a lot of repercussions. Only by cultivating one's own strength would there be no repercussions. Moreover, their foundation would be stronger, and their future would be brighter. Big brother, why do you think he's helping us? Jin Haoyu asked Jin Haochen. Jin Haochen muttered to himself, don't you think he's very similar to someone? Who? Our father. Impossible. After Yang Wu sensed Jin Xiu's strength, he also exclaimed in his heart, so powerful. All along, he had felt that Jin Xiu was the greatest threat. Now it was indeed so. Yang Wu didn't dare to underestimate Jin Xiu anymore, and quickly counterattacked. Martial God Fist. Yang Wu directly used his most proficient self-created battle skill. An invincible wool pervaded the air, as if a war god had descended. His fist was filled with the power of no one but himself. Bang bang. The fists collided, and muffled sounds continued to ring out. Two completely different profound qi kept splashing out. Jin Xiu's fist domain was directly destroyed by Yang Wu, and he was also forced to retreat. Bring out your full strength. Yang Wu shouted loudly, and like a human-shaped dragon, he continued to attack. The Jinwu boxing appeared, and the power of his fist became even more terrifying. The power of 5-star patterns flickered, and each fist contained the power of the stars that could explode stars. This was the sacred transformation mountain, a place reinforced by a heaven-piercing expert. It wasn't damaged. If it was any other place, it would definitely be completely destroyed. When Yang Wu made his move, the other geniuses all felt his invincible will. That unparalleled spirit suppressed them to the point that they couldn't breathe. Yang Wu was too powerful. At the 5th-star pattern realm, his combat power was not inferior to a peak Saint Realm creature. This was the power that suppressed his peers. Okay, you're worthy of me being serious. Jin Xiu responded with high fighting spirit. His hands formed an ancient Buddhist seal, and an ancient Buddha appeared behind him. A golden palm print suppressed Yang Wu. Acalanthus seal. A seal fell, and a terrifying aura spread out for dozens of miles, suppressing Yongwu. Vajra Lion Seal. A golden lion appeared, opening its huge mouth to envelop Yongwu. Great Freedom Buddha Seal. A faintly discernible Buddha seal appeared, sealing heaven and earth, forming a prison. Jin Xiao erupted with all his strength, and Buddhist seals appeared one after another, summoning ancient Buddhas to form a Buddhist kingdom, suppressing heaven and earth. Many ancient Buddhas were happy, angry, sad, and happy, affecting heaven and earth. Many geniuses were in awe, and couldn't help but put their palms together in worship. This was the world of Buddhas and also the Tao of true Buddhas. Jin Xiao himself also transformed into a true Buddha. His entire body was majestic, and his appearance was dignified. Yongwu knew that Jin Xiao was very powerful, but he didn't know that Jin Xiao was powerful to such an extent. The Tao of true Buddhas formed could even directly transcend gods and devils. If he didn't have an invincible will and an extremely firm heart, he would have knelt down and admitted defeat at this moment. Buddhas can transcend gods and devils, but not me. Yongwu roared, and all his fighting spirit erupted. It was as if he had transformed into a true dragon, and also like the black tortoise. Two great spirit beast phantoms appeared, and a powerful force blasted out. Dragon Turtle Sea Turning Technique. Chapter 1205. Rumble Rumble. Yongwu had already practiced the Dragon Turtle Sea Turning skill to perfection. With the support of the true dragon and the black tortoise, it unleashed an extremely powerful battle prowess. It was as if the world was about to be overturned. Even the imprints of many ancient Buddhas were all shattered by it. Yongwu and Jin Xiao were engaged in an intense battle. On top of the sacred transformation mountain, images of golden Buddhas, true dragons, and black tortoise appeared one after another. They were constantly colliding with each other, forming a strange phenomenon. The two of them fought so quickly that the other geniuses couldn't catch them. Only now did they realize that the gap between them and Yongwu and Jin Xiao was too great. In the future, they probably wouldn't even be able to raise their fighting spirit in front of these two. These were truly invincible geniuses. Yongwu didn't expect Jin Xiao to be so powerful. If he hadn't continuously broken through in the sacred transformation pond, he would have been defeated by Jin Xiao today. Jin Xiao used many Buddhist techniques, each of which was supported by Buddhist talismans. His battle prowess was truly monstrous. However, he was even more shocked by Yongwu's improvement. He was originally a reincarnated body, so he carried the memories and power of his previous life. After polishing his new body, he unsealed his original power and became so powerful. How could Yongwu be as powerful as him? Could it be that Yongwu was also a reincarnated body? Reincarnation was a great opportunity. It might not even appear once in a trillion. Jin Xiao was one of these lucky ones. He carried the memories and power of his previous life and was reincarnated. He changed his body and lived another life. If other experts wanted to continue living, they would usually seize the bodies of others. The pros and cons of this situation were very obvious. The pros and cons were that the soul could live on in another body. The cons were that if the soul couldn't be compatible with the body, then it would be difficult for the soul to improve, and they would quickly die of old age. Jin Xiao was a reincarnated body, so it was completely acceptable for him to be so powerful. Yongwu also had his own unique opportunities. Ever since he saved Little Hay, he had been blessed by the heavens. He relied on his undying body, able to turn danger into safety time and time again. He obtained many opportunities, becoming more and more powerful. It wasn't a coincidence that he was where he was today. The two peerless heavens favorites crazily clashed together like two meteors crashing into each other, creating countless sparks. The invisible power of the stars was attracted to them. Even the power of the stars attracted by a top-tier saint was nothing more than this. These two guys are definitely not human. That's right. How can he be so ridiculously strong? I really can't accept this. In the past, I thought that the gap between us wasn't that big. As long as I worked a little harder, I would be able to catch up. Now, I feel like there's no hope at all. I can understand why Yang Wu is so strong. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been able to become an invincible emperor. But why is Jin Xiu also so strong? Just what is his background? These geniuses were shocked by the strength displayed by these two. They were simply too strong. It made them feel like there was a huge gap between them. Ziyu Yu, Meng Bingxue, Shu Yujun, and the others were silently cheering for Yang Wu. They didn't want Yang Wu to be defeated in this kind of situation. Jin Haochen and Jin Haoyu hoped that Jin Xiu would defeat Yang Wu and help them vent their anger. At the same time, they were also very confused. Was this person in front of them the reincarnation of their deceased father? Bang! After another tremor, Yang Wu and Jin Xiu separated from each other. Neither of them looked disheveled at all, as if they hadn't fought at all. Only their abundant battle chi made people feel that this was real. Let's end our warm-up, Jin Xiu said with a smile. All right, let's decide the winner. Yang Wu nodded. Okay, you first or me first? Jin Xiu asked again. I am the invincible emperor. You first. Haha. Then it would be impolite for me to refuse. Bang! The sound of bang came from the ancient Buddha. It shook heaven and earth and went straight into the depths of one's soul. This was an unstoppable sound wave attack. Yang Wu also knew how to use the boom sound, but compared to Jin Xiu, it lacked a pure Buddhist aura, and its power was weaker. The Buddha sound could destroy one's soul. If it were anyone else facing this Buddha sound, their soul would be shattered and obliterated. Yang Wu's soul power was not only strong, but his defense was also amazing. The Dao flower in the celestial court retracted and blocked the Buddha sound, so it didn't affect his soul too much. When Jin Xiu spat out those words, his figure had already disappeared. When he reappeared, his palm was furiously smashing down on Yang Wu's head. This was a fatal blow. This was also Jin Xiu's ferocious and murderous side. How could an ambitious and ruthless person who could reappear as a reincarnated person be kind? Yang Wu's reaction was very sharp. He raised one hand to block Jin Xiu's attack, while his other arm swung toward Jin Xiu. Barbaric God's arm. Now, the might of the arm of the barbarian god had undergone an overwhelming change. When it swept out, it possessed the power to sweep through an entire army. It was extremely powerful, and it also contained a strand of tomb of the god's chi. Once the strand of tomb of the god's chi invaded the bodies of living beings, it would definitely devour their vitality. Teleportation. Before Yang Wu's barbaric god's arm smashed into Jin Xiu, Jin Xiu released his innate ability. He instantly teleported to the other side of Yang Wu and swung his palm at him again. This time, Yang Wu couldn't dodge. The sacred armor on his back was hit, and his body flew out like a cannonball. Fortunately, his defensive power was strong enough to dissipate the force. Otherwise, this palm would have injured him. Jin Xiu teleported again and swung his golden palm at Yang Wu's vitals. Teleportation talent was definitely one of the top talents. It was unpredictable and impossible to guard against. Even Yang Wu was not able to detect Jin Xiu's position in the first moment. Yang Wu was hit by Jin Xiu's palm more than 10 times, and the surrounding people were stunned. Yang Wu was publicly recognized as an invincible king. Yet, he wasn't Jin Xiu's match. Yang Wu wasn't someone who would admit defeat easily. It wasn't his character to only defend and not attack. Jin Xiu's palm was stronger than the last. It was like an ancient Buddha had descended. A few more palm strikes, and his black tortoise sacred armor would crack. Wind God's kick. Yang Wu twisted his body and formed a space storm. It completely disrupted Jin Xiu's rhythm. If Jin Xiu wanted to get closer, he would be hit by the storm. He would no longer be able to teleport to attack him. Jin Xiu appeared in another direction with a wishful Buddhist weapon in his hand. This was a true divine weapon. When the wishful Buddhist weapon was swung down, it carried a dense Buddhist power and crushed towards Yang Wu. This was pure wishful Buddhist power. It was a competition of true strength. Even a half-step Tongtian wouldn't dare to take a head-on. This was Jin Xiu's true battle strength. Jin Xiu had already used his divine weapon. If Yang Wu didn't use his divine weapon, only death awaited him. Let's decide the victor. Yang Wu murmured in his heart. A divine sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed at Jin Xiu. World-rending. After Yang Wu comprehended the star-swallowing sword Dao, he used the star-swallowing sword technique again. The power increased by several times. With a slash, the sky was split in half. Even the ancient Buddha was cut into pieces. Jin Xiu was shocked. He finally felt a strong threat from Yang Wu. He teleported to dodge, but his shoulder was still cut by the sword chi. A large piece of flesh fell off. Star destruction. Yang Wu slashed out with his first sword. Boundless sword chi formed a terrifying sword domain that enveloped an area of several dozen kilometers. Dense sword chi rained down like rain. No one could escape from this prison of sword rain. The leader of the 7 heroes of Wudang, Song Qing, was shocked. He said to himself, "This is the true sword Dao." In the next moment, he entered a state of enlightenment. He grasped the direction of his formless sword Dao. The last of the 7 heroes of Wudang, Mo Wudi, also saw Yang Wu's exquisite sword technique. His eyes flashed with battle intent. The heart of the sword is bright. The sword chi is like a rainbow. He deserves the title of invincible. Among the 7 heroes of Wudang, only Song Qing had touched the edge of the sword Dao. Mo Wudi had long ago comprehended his own sword Dao. He was the strongest of the 7 heroes. Yang Wu had observed the appearance of the Milky Way and practiced the star-swallowing sword Dao. Finally, he had formed the suppression of the Golden Prison. If he didn't have the star-swallowing sword Dao, he would have to use the Dao of life and death to suppress Jin Xiu. Jin Xiu wouldn't admit defeat so easily. He shouted, "Rui, golden body." In the next moment, his body quickly grew taller, turning into a golden Buddha. A golden bell hovered around his body, forming the strongest defense. His combat strength also became stronger as his golden body grew bigger. He waved the jade scepter in his hand, shattering all the power of Yang Wu's sword domain. This was an invincible Buddha body. It was extremely difficult to cultivate. One had to have an extremely strong physical body to be able to withstand the power of this golden body. Before Jin Xiu became a sage, he already had a sage body. Now that he had become a sage, his sage body was even stronger. He could withstand this secret technique. However, with his current strength, he could only hold on for half an hour. So if he wanted to defeat Yang Wu, he had to end the battle quickly. "Yang Wu, you're strong enough to force me to this point, but you're still going to lose." Jin Xiu roared. His teleportation talent reappeared. When he reappeared, the Rui Jade was already above Yang Wu's head. Under this attack, Yang Wu's head would definitely explode. This Rui Jade was a true divine weapon. At this critical moment, Yang Wu's attack method underwent a great change. A thunder and lightning aura flashed, and boundless thunder and lightning formed an electric fork that wreaked havoc and bombarded the area, blocking the attack of Jin Xiu. You can't stop it. Jin Xiu's physical body was extremely strong. He ignored the damage caused by the electric forks and continued to wave them down. He wouldn't give Yang Wu any chance. While Yang Wu was dodging Jin Xiu's attack, a soul needle suddenly shot out from the celestial court. Demonic needle. This was a demonic needle. With the help of soul power, it quickly pierced out. Even Elder Tong Tian couldn't detect its existence. Jin Xiu had miscalculated. Chapter 1206. Jin Xiu was defeated. When his soul was pierced by the demonic shadow needle, his screams echoed in all directions. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao were frightened. They rushed out and rushed towards Yang Wu, shouting, "Have mercy!" It didn't matter if Jin Xiu was their father's reborn body. They felt close to Jin Xiu and didn't want him to die. Jin Xiu didn't die so easily. Even though his soul was pierced by the demonic shadow needle, he used his powerful soul to send the needle flying. He wasn't killed. His wishful diamond body quickly shrank and his aura dropped. He didn't have the strength he had before. He smiled with satisfaction and said, "This battle was really satisfying. You've lost." Yang Wu pointed at Jin Xiu with the Big Dipper sword. If he could kill Jin Xiu with one strike. But if Jin Xiu wanted to escape, he might be able to. His talent for teleportation was unparalleled. No one could compare. Yes, I accept my defeat wholeheartedly. Jin Xiu sighed and said to Yang Wu, I have a presumptuous request. I hope you can agree to it. Speak, Yang Wu said calmly. Even though Jin Xiu was defeated, Yang Wu didn't treat him as a defeated opponent. He was an opponent worthy of respect. They offended you. Let them be your followers for 100 years. Jin Xiu pointed at Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao. Yang Wu was stunned. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao were also stunned. Why should Jin Xiu make the decision for them? Who are you? Jin Yuqin stared at Jin Xiu and asked. I'm the person who named you too, Jin Xiu said seriously. Jin Xiu said very seriously. Then, he revealed a look of reminiscence and sighed softly. I chose Shin and Hao because I hoped that you two brothers could become emperors and become the overlords of the vast universe. You did not disappoint me, but you still lack a bit of tempering. Following Yang Wu for 100 years will only bring you benefits and no harm. Perhaps you can become nobles and not disappoint me. You really are my father? Jin Yuqin asked in a trembling voice. Impossible, Jin Yuhao said in disbelief. Yang Wu didn't want to get involved in other people's family matters. He said to them, this matter is over. You guys take your time talking. After that, he quickly flew towards Ziyu Yu, Meng Bingxue, and Shu Yujun. Husband, are you all right? Ziyu Yu went up to him and asked. I'm fine, Yang Wu replied. Then, he glanced at Lei Beibei, who was not far away from Yu Yu, and asked Yu Yu, do you still want to return to Purple Firmament Hall? And I have to go back. I don't want to cause trouble for you. When you reach the Jade Moon Realm, you can come find me again, okay? Purple Yu Yu said with a guilty expression. They had all reached the Star Rune Realm, but they still couldn't control their own fates. It was truly a sad thing. This time, Yang Wu's state of mind was incomparably calm. He held Ziyu Yu's hand and said seriously, all right, don't worry. It won't be long before I go to Purple Firmament Hall to welcome you back. In just a short year, he had broken through to the 5th level Star Rune Realm. Was he still far from the Jade Moon Realm? As long as he found another type of mysterious essence Qi, he firmly believed that he could break through to the Jade Moon Realm in a few years. At that time, he would go to Purple Firmament Hall and marry Ziyu Yu. He believed that the people of Purple Firmament Hall wouldn't dare say a word. After experiencing so many things, Yang Wu had matured a lot. He was no longer an impulsive youth. Ziyu Yu felt Yang Wu's confidence and also sensed that Yang Wu was different from before. She revealed a gratified smile and said, Husband, I will definitely wait for you. No matter who it is, they won't make me yield. After she finished speaking, she hugged Yang Wu and left with Lei Beibei and the other people of Purple Firmament Hall. Before she left, Yang Wu gave her a drop of true immortal liquid and reminded her of its use. Yang Wu firmly believed that Ziyu Yu would become stronger with the help of this drop of immortal liquid. Now, Ziyu had reached the 2nd level Star Rune Realm, the same realm as Sun Do. After Ziyu Yu left, Yang Wu wanted to take his people and leave. Who knew that Jin Xiu would bring Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao over? Yang Wu, they are willing to follow you for 100 years. Will you accept them? Jin Xiu looked at Yang Wu and asked. These were all top geniuses. No one was willing to submit to anyone. If Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao were to follow Yang Wu for 100 years, it would be a huge stain on their reputation. Unless they were willing to follow Yang Wu and take it as an honor, they could ignore all of this. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao didn't say anything. Their expressions weren't very good. They were still very resistant in their hearts. Brother Jin Xiu, why are you doing this? Isn't it better for them to follow you? Yang Wu asked back. Purely because I think highly of you. If they follow me, they will be affected by my fate. Their future growth will be limited. Jin Xiu replied sincerely. He paused for a moment and said, If you agree to accept them, I will give you this secret map. It has something to do with your heavenly palace. After saying this, a broken ancient map appeared in Jin Xiu's hands. Yang Wu frowned. He didn't immediately take the map. He looked at Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao and asked, Are you sure you want to listen to him? The two brothers looked at each other and then nodded at Yangwu. They agreed with Jin Qiu's decision. Okay, you will follow me for 100 years. But you must listen to me. If you don't want to listen to me, then let's just forget about it. I don't accept disloyal people, Yangwu said decisively. Don't worry, they will listen to you. After 100 years, I will take them away. Jin Qiu said this and handed the broken map to Yangwu. Then he turned and left. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao looked at Jin Qiu as he left. Their eyes were filled with reluctance. They were sure that Jin Qiu was their reincarnated father. They really couldn't understand what their father was thinking. Although Yangwu was very strong and had a bright future, he wouldn't be of much help to them. Moreover, Yangwu had a lot of enemies. It was hard to say whether he would die early. Now, they were disciples of a Kunlun Jade Moon expert. They could also get a lot of cultivation resources. It was much better than following Yangwu. I know you don't want to follow me, but since you have agreed to Jin Qiu's arrangement, then listen to me. I will make things difficult for you. I also ask that you don't make things difficult for me. 100 years is not short, but it's not long either. Maybe one day you won't regret your decision. Yangwu looked at the two brothers and said faintly. Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao didn't answer Yangwu. They needed some time to slowly digest this fact. One of them liked Chao Jifei, while the other liked Xinyuan Huowu. Both of them were proud daughters of the heavens. Their standards for choosing a partner were very high. Now that they had become Yangwu's followers, their chances were very slim. Bingxue, do you still want to return to Kunlun? Yangwu asked Meng Bingxue. Meng Bingxue revealed a trace of sadness and said, I want to walk around. I won't go back for the time being. After the Dragon Phoenix Abyss, she returned to Kunlun. Unfortunately, the sect's attitude towards her had completely changed. Some people advised her to marry Kun Mingzi. Otherwise, she should stay away from Yangwu. Some people advised her to shake hands with Kun Mingzi and let bygones be bygones. Even her master and relatives said the same. She felt incomparably sad. Kun Mingzi was clearly a bad person. He was the one who hurt her. Everyone was on his side. She really didn't understand what was wrong with the sect. Then come with me, Yangwu said with a trace of pity. Meng Bingxue shook her head and said, There is no use for me to stay by your side. I want to become stronger. I don't want to be left behind by you. When I am tired one day, I will return to your side. At that time, will you still take me in? Yangwu's heart clenched. He stroked Meng Bingxue's cheek and said, You protected me in the past. I have decided that when I am strong enough, I will protect you for the rest of my life. This will never change. Meng Bingxue smiled with tears flowing down her face and said, Yes, this is what you said. Pinky promise will never change for 100 years. Yangwu and Meng Bingxue pinky promise. Then, he watched Meng Bingxue leave alone. Yangwu didn't feel good. This was his woman. She was wronged, but he couldn't help her. He hated himself for being useless. Bingxue, just you wait. One day, I will bring you back to Kunlun and get justice for you. After Meng Bingxue left, Shu Yujun saw that Yangwu was in a bad mood. She held his hand and said, Don't be sad. They will only be separated from you temporarily. In the future, they will meet again. Yangwu smiled bitterly and said, I just feel that I'm useless. Then, he looked at Shu Yujun and said sincerely, Yujun, I am sorry. I have wronged you. Idiot, I am willing to do all of this. Shu Yujun smiled. All right, we should go. Yangwu held her hand and said, just as they were about to leave the sacred transformation mountain, an old voice rang out. Little man, you really made me look for you. After Little Man heard this voice, she couldn't help but shrink behind Yangwu. Her eyes revealed a complicated expression, as if she was afraid to see who it was. Suddenly, an old figure appeared in front of Yangwu and the others. It was an old woman. She bent her body and held a walking stick. She walked very slowly, but in reality, her body was constantly changing. In the blink of an eye, she appeared in front of Yangwu and the others. Senior, you are. Yangwu couldn't see the old woman's cultivation, so he cupped his hands and greeted her. Without waiting for him to finish, the old woman interrupted him and said, Little man, my disciple, why aren't you coming with your master? What are you waiting for? Little man timidly walked out and said, "Greetings, master. I, I don't want to go with you. Is that okay? Is it because of him?" The old woman looked at Yang Wu and asked. Little man lightly nodded. She was about to speak when the old woman made a move against Yang Wu. "He is not worthy of you." Chapter 12:07. No one had expected an old woman to suddenly appear and attack. Even Yang Wu didn't have a chance to react before he was captured. Who was Yang Wu? He was an invincible emperor, and he was now a level 5 celestial saint. With all kinds of trump cards, he could even kill a half-step Tongtian expert. Now, he was just an ant in the old woman's hands. It was obvious how strong this old woman was. "Let go of Big Brother, Master." Sundo, Yang Ba, and the others cried out and attacked the old woman. Unfortunately, before their attacks could land on the old woman, an invisible power fell on them, and they spat out blood and rolled away. "Little man, if you don't come with me, I'll kill them." The old woman looked at the little man and said stubbornly, "Master, let go of the young master. I'll go with you. I'll go with you." The little man cried. She didn't want anything to happen to Yang Wu. Yang Wu felt very sullen. The old woman in front of him was definitely a Tongtian expert. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to capture him so easily. It was one thing for him to be captured, but she also hurt his brother. "He can take this lying down. I don't care who you are. Don't even think about taking little man away today." Yang Wu roared. In the next moment, the heavenly thunderbone all over his body vibrated. The divine weapon electric trident attached to the heavenly thunderbone finally cooperated and released a trace of the power of thunder and lightning under his command. The sky above was densely filled with purple clouds of thunder and lightning, and they came crashing down in his direction. Electric fork aura. With the support of the trident's chi field became extremely frightening. The purple cloud thunder blasted down and merged with the chi field. Even a top saint would not be able to burst with such power. Even a half-step Tongtian level power did not seem to be so strong. It was infinitely close to Tongtian level power. The lightning formed an electric fork and attacked the old woman. Even a half-step heavenspan expert would not be able to withstand the power of the electric fork's explosion. The old woman didn't expect Yang Wu to have such a move. She loosened her grip on Yang Wu's hand, allowing Yang Wu to struggle free. The old woman waved her hand, and a terrifying force field was formed, blocking the lightning. "You think you can do anything to this old woman with this little bit of strength? You still have a long way to go." The old woman responded and reached out to grab Yang Wu again. "Kill!" Yang Wu's killing intent sword. He roared and summoned the divine weapon electric fork. He infused all the lightning energy into the electric fork and blasted it towards the old woman. The power of the divine weapon electric trident was boundless. Under Yang Wu's activation, it released a trace of unique lightning energy. It was like a punishment from the heavens. The lightning energy was filled with destructive power, touching upon the most fundamental energy. The old woman felt a trace of threat. She revealed a trace of fear and murmured, "Fundamental lightning energy." Then, the old woman erupted with powerful strength. She pointed out her walking stick, and boundless star energy gathered. There was also a trace of moonlight light, which intertwined with the power of the electric fork. Boom! A terrifying explosion rang out, and a terrifying heaven and earth energy rippled out. Everything within a radius of dozens of miles was destroyed. The few geniuses who hadn't left were already scared out of their wits. When they saw this terrifying destructive power, they couldn't help but feel a lingering fear. If they had fled a little later, they would have been killed by the shockwaves as well. At least you have some ability. I'll let you go this time. Next time, don't let me see you pestering little man otherwise. I'll tear you apart alive. The old woman left behind a cold snort and disappeared with little man. All the power disappeared. Yang Wu's body smashed into the Saint Transforming Mountain. His internal organs were almost shattered, and his body was covered in blood. He looked extremely miserable. He still held the divine weapon electric fork with both hands. He burst out with an extremely unresigned aura and shouted, "Old thing, I don't care who you are. If you dare to hurt little man, I will not rest until you die. Little man had always been his servant, but Yangwu treated her like his own sister. Even if the old woman was little man's master, she was still so rude. He was worried that the little man would be abused by her. Now you know that your strength is still weak, right? Little Hay jumped out of nowhere and said with a hint of schadenfreude, "What do you want to say?" Yangwu was in a very bad mood and asked coldly, "Find the next type of profound essence qi. As long as you gather all 9 types of profound essence qi, the supreme 9 profound arts will reach perfection and become the strongest immortal art. Even immortals will be killed by you." Little Hay's eyes flashed as she said, "In less than half a year, I've broken through to such a high realm. Do you think I need to find profound essence qi now?" "Yes, it's very necessary. Then you go find it yourself. I need to stabilize my current realm before I go find it. Little Wu, what you need is to bravely advance. Don't be like a little old man and waste all that boring time." Yangwu ignored Little Hay and used the supreme 9 profound arts to recover his life force. Little man being taken away by force was a huge blow to him. It really kicked him back to reality from heaven. He had defeated Jin Xiao and was feeling complacent. However, the appearance of the old woman gave him a warning. He absolutely could not underestimate an old monster of the reaching heaven realm. Otherwise, only death would await him. In addition, he had to think carefully about the matter of going to Purple Firmament Hall in Kunlun. He should not do it before reaching the reaching heaven realm. Being impulsive would not solve the problem. He had to have absolute strength before doing it. Shu Yujun, Sun Do, Yang Ba, and the others rushed over. They were all worried about Yang Wu. Especially when they saw Yang Wu covered in injuries, their hearts ached even more. That old woman really deserves to die. Shu Yujun said murderously, "I want to become stronger, even stronger. I will not allow anyone to harm my brothers." Sun Do clenched his fists. White-haired Demonis, Yang Ba, and Su Chu were all in a bad mood. They were all Yang Wu's subordinates. Their master was injured and they could not help at all. After Yang Wu's injuries were slightly better, he walked out of the crack in a mountain and said faintly, "Let's go." The black tortoise battleship appeared and brought them away quickly. "Big brother, I want to return to the sun, swallowing realm to continue cultivating." Sun Do expressed his thoughts to Yang Wu. "You've decided?" Yang Wu asked in return. "Yes, there are some inheritances that can be accepted after reaching the Star Rune realm. This time, we might leave for a longer time. The next time we meet, I will definitely be able to protect Big Brother." Sun Do replied seriously, "All right, you will walk your own path. No matter what happens, you must inform me. Everything is for your life. I don't want anything to happen to you." Yang Wu said solemnly. Yang Wu gave a drop of immortal liquid to Sun Do, as well as some inferior immortal liquid. He and Sun Do were not blood brothers, but they were better than blood brothers. Sun Do left as soon as he said so. He did not linger for too long. He was greatly affected by the battle between Yang Wu and Jin Xiao. When he saw Yang Wu being beaten up by the old woman, he was even more furious. He did not want to watch Yang Wu being beaten up by others. He had to become stronger, and there was a place in the sun-swallowing realm that could help him become stronger. Yang Wu's battleship did not fly for long before a flying shuttle caught up. Chao Jifei's voice came from inside. "Yang Wu, my master hopes that you can make a trip to the main altar as soon as possible." "I will go," Yang Wu replied calmly. "This is a big matter for your Yang clan." Chao Jifei left after saying this and left quickly. Miao Miao's voice sounded, "Boss, come quickly." Yang Wu raised his eyebrows and said in a low voice, "I'm going to the apothecary union. You guys go back to your clans first." Yang Wu then took out a few more drops of immortal liquid and gave them to Shu Yujun, White-haired Demonis, Yang Ba, Su Chu, and the others. Little Hay's eyes were a bit red. "Master, I'll stay with you." White-haired Demonis did not want to leave Yang Wu. Shu Yujun also said, "I don't need to go back to the sect for now. I'll stay with you." Yang Wu waved his hand and said, "You guys go back and consolidate your strength and improve your cultivation. I want to be alone." This time, Yang Wu did not allow anyone to refute him. Even Jin Yuqin and Jin Yuhao, who wanted to follow Yang Wu, were rejected. Yang Wu told them to go to the Apothecary Union and wait for him while he went on his own. He left the Black Tortoise battleship for Yang Ba and the others to use. He did not need it for now. Yang Wu sat cross-legged on the silver-patterned turtle and slowly headed toward the Apothecary Union with Little Hay. Little Hay jumped onto Yang Wu's shoulder and asked, "Little Wu, are you really not going to look for the profound essence chi?" "Little Hay, you clearly know that what I'm lacking right now is training. Why do you still ask?" Yang Wu countered. It seems like you're still rational. Then why don't you accept this immortal emperor's devilish trial?" "What devilish trial methods do you have?" Little man was able to grow so quickly. "Do you think it's power that fell from the heavens?" "It's all because of this immortal emperor's teachings." "All right, I'll accept your trial. Don't disappoint me." "Don't worry. Before that, let's increase the bloodline of this little turtle. It's too weak." Yang Wu, Little Hay, and the silver-patterned turtle landed on a barren mountain. They walked to the Apothecary Union. The journey was extremely long. Who knew how long it would take them to reach the Apothecary Union? Yang Wu did not care about the time. He only wanted to comprehend the uniqueness of the Starline realm. He wanted to understand more about the mysteries of the Starline realm. This was also the reason why he chose to travel alone. As for the silver-patterned turtle, it was too weak. Yang Wu did not want it to follow in the footsteps of the golden-crowned eagle. Therefore, it had to increase its strength as soon as possible. Little Hay taught the silver-patterned turtle the blood-forging technique. As long as it persisted in cultivating, it would be able to continuously increase its bloodline power. The prerequisite was that it could devour the bloodline power of higher-grade spirit demons. They landed here to let the silver-patterned turtle and the other spirit demons fight. Yang Wu fed the silver-patterned turtle the inferior immortal liquid. The silver-patterned turtle's strength had reached the peak of the minor demon saint realm. It would not be easy for it to enter the demon saint realm. In addition, Yang Wu was also waiting for the king of Hell's palace to come after him. He desired to grow through battle. However, before the king of Hell's palace came, the Mount Song sect came first.